What up?
Do you want me to share it so that your device stops
Yeah, so
having
I'm
to
not
use
so I'm
the
not
app?
going through multiple devices trying to pull it up.
I already left it backstage once, but okay, sir. I will present it to
All
you
right. Now
so
it's
that
now
it
it's
can be
backstage.
shared.
Now it's backstage. I can get it. This one is
There's
40
a
seconds.
link backstage.
The last one was a 20-minute clip.
It's a 40-second clip.
This one isn't.
It's a
This one
40-second
is.
clip.
Let's see. Share screen. When women get rejected. All right. What do we got here? Who is this? Levi Nix? It's racy. What? I'm doing a show where we talk bad about women. It's kind of the regular thing we do over here. Yeah, you know.
We talk bad about bad women. Get this right. Get this right. Don't make us look like misogynists. We talk bad about bad women. Pay attention.
I know she's convinced that every time I'm having a conversation that involves women that I'm saying something bad or why I would talk to other people with bad ideas. She's convinced that I'm just like supporting it.
The funny part is what's going to happen during this joke.
During
because
this what?
We do have a woman present, so let's do this.
Oh, she won't hear it. Don't worry.
Oh
we
man,
post videos every day. I got a banger from Morocco TV. Let's get straight into it.
I learned a lot about women. I think I learned exactly how the fall of man occurred in the Garden of Eden.
This
Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden, and Adam said one day, "Wow, Eve, here we are, at one with nature, at one with God. We'll never age, we'll never die, and all our dreams come true the instant that we have them." And Eve said, "Yeah, it's just not enough, is it?"
I love this thing. So good.
Wow. That's not funny.
I was just waiting for more.
Stupid. Now that's funny.
Well, that was kind of his point.
I actually have seen that clip.
Dude, what?
Surprisingly.
That almost had you? Okay.
No, I've seen it before. I think I saw the live. I didn't see that guy's reaction to it, but I think I saw
you've seen that live before, and I cut you a joke. Okay.
And I saw that specific joke from it because I remember her being all pissy about it.
Yeah, but do you get why she made the joke even more funny?
Yeah, because she acted like there wasn't a joke there. She didn't understand that was the joke all in itself. What's going on, Gonzo? What's going on, Noah? How are you guys doing?
Well, good, not good.
Not good?
Yeah. How are you doing?
No, none of that was about.
He's getting told off.
I couldn't hear what you were saying. What?
You're getting told off there.
Well, she was. It's a long story, but never mind.
She misunderstood, and it's okay.
Sounds playing into my ear, and it's easy to perceive things a different way.
It got misunderstood. That's how come whenever you said she's not going to hear it, it was behind the point a female would hear the joke, and hopefully not a female that's like most females. Like we just got done discussion.
Yeah, I don't know.
Out of context, misunderstood, and
yeah, pretty much.
Exactly.
Well, it's like because I'll have conversations with Simon all the time, and anybody that's on here and watches me have a conversation with Simon can see that we totally disagree about women or how they should be treated or anything like that. Like we're on different wavelengths, but sometimes it gets perceived like, oh, why would you even talk to somebody like that? And it's just like, oh, well, I'd still entertain the argument just to double down on my point of this doesn't make a lot of sense in my head. Make this compute. That's usually why I'll talk to people about things I disagree with.
That one guy that I think you're talking about right now, he doesn't make sense. But I completely I gave him plenty benefit of the doubt.
I was gonna say that's the last time I saw you.
Want to shit on you, whether you're nice to him or you're rude to him. He says, "Here's your turd. Here's my turd in your face. Enjoy it."
That was the last time I talked to you. I think was at that party, and yeah, you guys were talking about him giving out money and him being part of the system, and yeah, it got deep.
When does
You have reflective? No, you have reflective film on your license plate.
Maybe.
That might be illegal. Just
It is.
I would say so.
It's only on one letter, so it's just so the cameras don't pick it up.
Yeah, I know. That's what it's for. That's what makes it illegal. Is so the cameras don't pick it up.
I'm just a girl.
I'm just a girl trying to commit crimes.
No, I'm just a girl trying to go zoomies without getting caught.
Oh, so how's everybody been? What's new in the hood? What's been going on these internets?
Well, in 2 weeks I'm in Spain, and then the week after I have to go down to London.
Spain?
Yeah.
Wait, are we talking like regular Spain that everybody knows about?
Yes.
What are you going out there for?
Holiday.
Oh, okay. How did your training go when you went to that place?
We're not going to talk about that.
Oh, I was trying to think of the last time I saw you. I think that's what we were talking about. You were at a hotel, and you were talking
Yeah.
about your training.
That was a different experience and a half.
A different experience?
Well,
In what? In like a bad experience? You said it was going pretty well when I talked to you before.
yeah, until I got trapped underneath a van.
You got trapped underneath the van?
A good reason to call somebody you fucking idiot.
So I'm the smallest one of the whole group. Only last, tiny, whatever.
So they make you go into the small areas?
So I went underneath the van and they had the trolley jacks and they didn't realise I was there. They put the trolley jacks down. Now, I'm small enough not to get crushed, but I'm not small enough to get out.
Oh, so you weren't so you were just pinned. You weren't actually crushed. Okay.
I got trapped
That's good. And how long did they leave you under there?
for about half an hour.
That's something. That is something indeed.
I got nothing. I
Yeah.
got nothing. I
Got
got
nothing?
nothing. I got nothing. If you put yourself in the situation, you deserve what happens. I got
feel-
nothing.
I feel like somebody else lowered it though. Somebody else had to lower it.
Well, there's a jack on both sides, so two people have had to lower it.
I feel as though she shouldn't have been there.
But I was doing work underneath a van. We can't put them on the lifts, otherwise. the
Well, then
bottom
tell
ceiling
everybody
is
else to
damaged.
fuck off while you're doing work. Like, why get yourself into a situation? Hey, trust me. My dad, I don't know what happened. He was removing his transmission from his truck. This was several years ago, back whenever I was a young teenager. And he came inside one day. Said, "You didn't hear me yelling outside?" I'm like, "No." Said, "I had the transmission on my chest for 10 minutes. You go out there and put it back in the trunk if you need to go to the store today." And that's how I wound up crushing my left hand.
I stabbed myself with a pitchfork today.
Well, that's a new one.
Yeah, in the foot. It was a good time.
How?
I said it was a good time.
How?
How? I was moving brush and I was trying to scrape it, and then I realized I couldn't move it because it was like a ball of roots, I guess. And then it like slid off the roots and then onto the top of my shoe. And then I took off my shoe to make sure it didn't go all the way through, because I had that feeling of like, oh, this is probably one of those really bad injuries. Don't look down yet. And so I had to take off my shoe and look at it. But luckily it didn't go all the way through like my foot. It just went into the top. So we're good. Draw a little bit of blood. Be all right.
It was the top.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
Well, I think it bounced off. I think one of the prongs bounced off of the bone, so that's why it didn't go.
Hey, Mr. Waters, you might know what this one is because I sure haven't figured it out yet. There's a tendon, and it's not the Achilles tendon. It's in the opposite location on your foot. It's on top of your ankle that leads down from your shin to your toe. Do you know what that one is?
Tendon that goes from your shin to your toe.
Well, roughly exactly. It's the opposite side of the Achilles tendon. You know where the Achilles tendon is, right?
Like the planters. I'm trying to think of what causes what's it called? Shin splints.
Well, I'm saying that I snapped my left one, bro. That thing, dude, I couldn't walk for like 2 damn days whenever that shit popped. In the middle of just walking on, just through a ditch, not even a small ditch. Like the ditch was like 6-8 inches down, and my foot hit it at the angle because I knew I had to hit it at an angle. I hit it at the angle, the loudest pop. Dude, it felt like it sounded like it echoed somewhere, bro. And right down to the ground. Poof. And I'm like, oh no. I go to stand up, poof, right back down to the ground. I'm like, I can't move. I'm stuck in the middle of this fucking trailer park and I can't fucking stand up.
That's the worst. I was striking with I decided to spar with the striking coach, and I'm a grappler. So I had my hands like out like this, and I was blocking, and then I was waiting to do something, and he did an axe kick. I think that's what it's called when your foot goes up and then comes down. And he came down on like, I think it was my pointer finger, and totally dislocated it and like smashed it in. And I said ow for a second and like stopped. And then he's like squirming because he can see it because it's like sticking out past the knuckle. And I just grabbed it and popped it, and all the other guys on the other side of the gym heard it, and they were like, "What was that?" I was like, "I had to pop it back in." I was like, "Ring the bell. We're going round 2."
My shoulder does that every now and then. Like it'll just fall, and I have to put my palm on top of my head, and it goes pop right back into place.
Oh, that's a good one. I can't do shoulders. I can't, well, like my shoulders and my knees and stuff, they just pop, and I don't know. I don't think I have very much cartilage in my knees, which is probably from wrestling. So I dislocated my knee one time, like 9 times in one match. So
the only thing I actually know is I have bone shrapnel behind my kneecap of my left knee because there was an MRI on it. And whenever that shit lines up, bro, it feels like a hammer claw trying to rip off my kneecap or a balloon trying to expand my knee out. It's terrible.
Did you chip it at some point, or what happened?
I've destroyed my body, man. I have a separated spinal column, and they look at me like, "How can you walk?" It's like, put one foot in front of the other.
Right, willingness to move. How do you do it?
Dude,
Gonzo, was it dry when it came off?
We don't need.
Oh, I do need to know. I need to know how much pain he's in right now. Because if it was
a finger before and ripped off the nail.
Oh yeah. Yes, I have. I've shut it in car doors. I've done it. Oh yeah.
No. I'm talking the whole nail is gone.
Yeah. That's
okay. That's kind of what I read whenever I read that from Gonzo.
Oh yeah, I was assuming he smashed it and it was all dead and dry underneath. But sometimes you like force it. All right. So I also have to ask, why were you kicking a wall? And did it help? I will assume.
Hey, at least I've learned to make impact with non-human objects and things that actually give, such as the ground or the light pole. The light pole doesn't like me anymore.
Yeah, I feel like every teenage boy has gotten a boxer fracture. If anybody knows what that is, it's like right on the outside of here where you can fracture your hand. And mine, I think mine was from punching a wall and I hit a stud. And yeah, definitely fractured my hand. It was a bad time.
I used to get mad while I was a teenager. And I had 7 blocks until we got to the seawall. So I'd walk the 7 blocks. I'd walk to the seawall on the water side. and I punched that motherfucker. Some days I'd get really fucking pissed off. And you know what? One day there was a crack, and I looked at my hand, and then I looked back at the wall and realized the point that I've been punching had finally gave just a little bit.
There's a kid in my class that I had to yell at because, and I won't say his name or anything because he's a kid, but he likes to go out and punch trees to strengthen his hands. And he was coming in. I asked him if he was playing Bloody Knuckles or something at lunch because his hands were just
That
all
was the
tore
thing
up.
back then, bro. Bloody Knuckles was it back then, dude.
Oh, yeah.
We do Bloody Knuckles this day and age, we're done.
Oh yeah. Well, that and the fucking eraser game.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, you remember that one?
Showing your
It's-
age over there, Jacob.
I'm gonna say kids are stupid.
I'm guessing Bloody Knuckles is our version of Knuckles, where you get coins and flick them each other's knuckles into one.
What do you use?
They take
50
coins and they
pieces
flip
or
them at
like-
each other's knuckles and they go thunk, thunk.
I wanna hear
thunk.
what-
I've done that before too. That shit's brutal.
What do you use, Noah?
Like, is Knuckles, like Bloody Knuckles, the same as our Knuckles, as where you get like coins and stuff and ping them each
Yeah.
other's knuckle?
Yeah. Yeah, one person put their hand down like this, and the other person's
No.
like this, and then at your thumb they're shooting the coin.
I have nightmares.
Yeah.
about
I
say-
play knuckles with myself this day and age. Just
Oh, that's not as bad, Gonzo. He said he kicked something in his sleep. Did you wake up out of a dead sleep? I would have. I assume if the whole nail fell off. And the new nail grew in under. Oh, okay. So you're good. Yeah. It's not nearly as bad as it could have been. It's worse
You
when
got
it
my
falls
son,
off right
Noah.
after.
You got my son Noah.
Hmm?
Okay, let me spell the word. You got my SUN Noah?
No. You
Because I don't see it. You have it? You're on that side of the world. You're in the Eastern Hemisphere. Do you have my SUN Noah?
It's 10 to 3 in the morning.
Wow.
Not yet. She's got a few more hours for that sun. Oh man. Feel like I haven't been online in a while, but at the same time, I don't know. It was nice taking a little break. Oh, I think me and what's his face are doing a show. Me and Tony are doing a show Wednesday.
Detox is always awesome. Oh,
Yes.
thanks for reminding me. Let me go tap somebody on the shoulder.
My dream, I was kicking a snake. Apparently, I kicked the wall. Yeah, I think you missed that snake. You scared of snakes, Gonzo? I like snakes. Snakes are fun.
He woke up whenever his toe bounced off the wall, and
Oh yeah,
I'm going
They'll
to
do
guess he lost connection.
probably. Or she was on the phone with a buddy earlier. So, never mind. She's back. I didn't mean to say oh, but I had just hit something and was trying to exhale. So, welcome back.
Hello.
Sorry for dying right before you came.
It's okay.
So, now that the training is done, will you not be taking that position now?
I am.
You are?
The training.
Oh, I'm surprised. I'm okay. Maybe they were like, oh, yeah, she fits under there. Let's keep her.
I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking.
So, are you just working on cars or do you also work on bikes too?
Just cars. I can't be asked for bikes.
No? You know, like small engine repair? How can you work on cars but not small engines?
Sorry about that ding, Mr. Waters.
I can
Oh,
do it, but I don't like it.
I was gonna tell you I was about to retire from that group today. It almost happened. I retired from another group because Andre made
Hey,
a group.
hey, hey, we haven't had time to sit down and have a discussion. You extended the olive branch, and this is the first time the olive branch has appeared. So if you would have jumped out, I would have came over and waved my finger at you and said, "What the fuck, bro?"
I know. I only give it so long. Sometimes people go on walks and never come back. It's like my father looking for milk.
Oh my gosh. Man, get your ass in here. Get your ass in here.
What does it mean?
That's that comment about you're passionate about choking people.
That wasn't to that.
Yes, it was. Go tap at the reply.
I
He
haven't.
replied to a comment, sir.
He's been on a walk for a week. See? Still on a walk. I win. I'll take my bow.
At least he has a mommy to enjoy.
Yeah. I think there's a YouTube community, or not a YouTube community, an internet community that likes to enjoy moms.
Too bad Mandela took away the only thing sentimental I had of my mom.
How did Mandela take it away?
My man. Remember my birthmarks on my neck and my shoulder? Those came from my mom directly. And now they're in the opposite locations. I
What
used to
is
be
this?
able to put my
So can we
hand
not?
on my
So
shoulder.
can we not put this on Nelson Mandela's shoulders though? Because I don't think he's
Hey,
responsible.
okay. Okay. Mandela and Murphy King have their little fuck fest in the afterlife all they fucking want. But we all know damn good and well that these damn humans are fucking with technology. They have no idea what the fuck they're doing.
Oh yeah. We're opening up micro wormholes until until we fuck around and find out. I'm gonna say they're probably doing that under Noah's place. They probably got a Hadron Collider under you somewhere. Or is it closer to
there's definitely a
Sweden?
large hadron collider around her, just like there's one in Texas that we're not supposed to know that exists.
We're talking about Hadron Colliders. You know what those are?
Particle
Say it.
smashers.
Yeah, it's basically a giant tube, and they shoot particles at each other
At
just to see.
99.99 light speed, because
Yeah,
99%
just to see.
and 99.99 are not the same thing. Sorry, Jacob.
No, you're good. Just to see what happens, and then they watch the half-life of things as they deteriorate.
Which is
Somebody
what
came up with the
discovered
God particle,
goddamn
right?
particle- which is what discovered the goddamn particle, officially known as the Higgs boson. And yes, you fucking Christians, it's called the goddamn particle. Go look up the fucking quote.
The God particle, yeah.
The goddamn particle, Mr. Waters. Go look up the fucking quote.
Yeah, and the wow sound was wow.
Yeah, the wow signal, sir. Which has only not actually been directly replicated, but they have found a similar signal from another location. What was it? Within the past 5 months? Yeah, somewhere around there. Not an exact frequency, but close enough to be called similar to the wow signal.
I didn't give you my pointless law that I didn't like.
Okay, what pointless law you don't like?
It's illegal in Kentucky, Alabama, and Georgia to carry an ice cream cone in your back pocket.
Does it have to be a cone?
It specifically cone. Oh well,
So-
and then Alabama. I am kind of fond of the mustache one in church. That one's pretty good too.
That was funny.
That was a close tie.
I guess she wasn't too infatuated with my Santa Claus that popped up after that.
I didn't see your stripping Santa Claus that was on a wrecking ball. I didn't have a response for that. He sends me the wildest things.
Hey, at least I'm better than Chicken Little.
Oh yeah, his wild is a different wild.
Okay, Noah, you have something to say, ma'am?
A stripping Santa Claus.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with a fat bearded man taking off his red jacket? You got a
He looked
problem
like
with it?
Yeah, he looked like Miley Cyrus in that video. Came in like a wrecking ball. Yeah, no, never heard that one.
Oh, come on, don't get offended.
Really never heard that song.
Don't
You're not a
ruin it.
stupid woman. Don't be
ruin
offended
Jacob.
by me.
Don't ruin that song.
Come on now, Noah. No.
Don't ruin that song.
No,
How could you ruin that song?
because not all I can think about is a stripping Santa.
How can we not ruin the song?
First of all, I love Miley Cyrus. I will marry Miley Cyrus, and yeah, I would marry Miley Cyrus. Miley Cyrus is my dream woman. Me and my girlfriend have an understanding about this. If the time ever arises,
Now you're gonna make me go find my Miley Cyrus meme that's in the other treasure chest and send it to you. Please hold.
don't give me some twerking turkey something.
I promise it's not a twerking turkey. Why do you think such superficial things come from me, Mr. Waters?
Because that was the only meme that kind of took off about her, and it was from the outfits that she was wearing in the wrecking ball stuff. It was like a skin tone bathing suit or something like. It looked like a bathing suit. It didn't look like underwear, but it was like a skin tone color. It's like a white tannish, and yeah, she didn't have much of a butt. I actually like her in the what's it called?
Ew! I
All Night?
didn't think it was much of a butt. I just thought it looked like
La da
turkey
dee
skin.
da dee. We like to party, dancing with Molly, doing whatever we want. That's my jam. And she does a really nice cover of Jolene. If I was ever a fighter, I'd walk out to party in the USA.
Okay. If I give this to you, you have to promise to share it. You have to promise to show it. And
Without
it's not
seeing it? No, I
nasty.
can't promise that
No,
without
no,
seeing
no.
it.
You
This
get
is my
to see
wife
it
you're talking
first.
about. This is my wife you're
You
talking
get
about.
to see it, but you have to show it.
Only I can't confirm I'll show it until I see it.
Well, it's in your pocket.
It's in my pocket.
Or do I have to present it? Do you want me to present it because it is in your pocket? Because I told you I'd give it to you so you can have it.
I'm looking. Hold on. Gotta pull things up. Wow, meatloaf.
What about Burger Loaf? Wait, huh?
All the way. My friend
Oh,
once
man.
told me Whis look like Miley Cyrus. I don't know who the other person is, so sure.
Whis is from Dragon Ball Super.
Oh yeah.
Look at the hairstyle.
Dragon Balls.
The Dragon Ball will grant you one wish, but if you are a friend of him, he can give you 3 within his power.
Yeah.
What, you never heard of the story of Goku, Noah? Don't look at me like that.
Lava. Chicken. Ooh,
Okay,
lava chicken.
Okay, you've been absolved, sir.
Yeah. Sorry, your meme didn't do it for me. I'm not a big Dragon Ball Z fan.
I don't do anime.
There you go. I do anime, but not very much of it.
Like, this is the anime. Like, this anime is as old as we are.
Yeah. Ain't no Cowboy Bebop.
What?
Yeah.
Dude.
You're going to act like Cowboy
Fucking
Bebop is
Goten's
the
left
best
nut.
anime ever created?
Fucking Goten's left
Don't
nut
worry,
can
I'll
destroy
wait.
that whole universe. Goten's left nut can destroy that whole universe. And we're talking about Goku's second son.
No, I'm talking about good animes, not imaginary powers inside of said anime.
Is it
Honey, I
progressive?
grew up on Big Bang and Modern Family. I don't do.
No, Cowboy Bebop is not progressive.
I don't. This is a different language to me.
Well, yeah, it's a different language to everybody.
Most cartoons reset, and he just acknowledged that Cartoon Bebop. It doesn't matter what happens in the episode; all things go back to the way it was the beginning of every episode.
Yeah, Cowboy Bebop reminds me of what's it called? Kill Bill. Gives me Kill Bill vibes.
I really think somebody needs to remake Kill Bill 1 and 2 and properly put it together. I think somebody attempted that and they didn't fail. It just wasn't widely known.
Wasn't that Quentin Tarantino that did that? Who
You
shot
get
Kill
what
Bill?
I'm trying to explain, right? You get what I'm trying
No,
to
I think it
explain,
was.
right?
I'm worried if they try to modernize it, they're gonna fuck it up even worse.
I didn't say modernize it. I said take both of the movies and separate them properly instead of having this happening in this movie and that happening in this movie.
Who's the creator of this? Yeah,
Yeah,
Quentin
you
Tarantino.
were correct. It was QT.
Yeah, he's only doing 8 movies or something like that. I don't remember what he said. He's only doing so many movies and then he's going to retire.
No, I'm just saying, either make it one film and didn't they make it? Yeah, it's called the Large Hadron Collider. If I'm not mistaken, it's in Switzerland.
Yeah, I said Sweden. My bad.
Yeah, one of those two fucking places. I always get those two mixed up. I'll acknowledge that. Sweden and Switzerland, I mix them up because I'm a stupid American. Right, Noah?
She doesn't know. She's from London.
Hey, she's from Europe.
Yeah, it is Stern. You're right. Gonzo. Way more accurate name. That one that's Sheba outside? Or no, who do they have? They have
the male
Yeah.
Shiva. Because they're a
the
Shiva,
war, the
the
war
ice.
god.
No, if you actually dive into it, Shiva is God and Satan in the Abrahamic religion.
The
He is the
Punisher.
all-encompassing force known as Shiva. Yeah. But that's
I
their
have-
brain fault.
Because I have the elephant, I think.
And that's the one that they're going to set up. Oh, hey, Mr. Waters,
Hey, what?
can I open up a Pandora's box?
Possibly. What are you releasing into the world?
Kardashev scale explanation, obviously.
I suppose.
Just level 1, between 0.7 and level 1. I won't
Level
go past that.
level one's at least understandable. Once you get much higher
Level
than 2.
1 is we control every function of the planet, period. We control earthquakes. All these things we call forces of nature, we learn how to technologically control them, including tides, earthquakes, volcanoes, etc. So we can basically terraform. Yeah, thank you for letting me get that out of your brain, Mr. Waters. We can basically terraform planets once we get to Kardashev scale level 1. So we already, if I had to go back and look in my notes, there was already this thing where they put out a fog over California and it caused diseases. And that's the point of what I'm also putting down here. Once we get to level 1, people will realize that acts of nature can be technologically controlled. And once that becomes the foundation, imagine the plausibilities then, because at that point in time, it's not simply God causing hurricanes. Excuse
Okay,
me, Mr. Waters, but go ahead.
Let me see if I can simplify this more and see if
Yes,
you'll
sir.
understand
Now
it
it's
with
your
me.
turn.
So we've been hadron colliding the fucking weather since, I don't know, Vietnam. And I call it that because we're just fucking around. We don't really know what the
We're
result is.
firing particles into the ionosphere. Go ahead.
Yeah. Or leaving metals in the atmosphere as well. But
That's what
So
I said. But please continue.
well, firing and then dropping are two different things. And I'd say we're also doing things with electronic
Increasing
pulse.
the density of particles in the ionosphere causing weather patterns to be manipulated is what you're trying to not directly state. But go ahead.
Well, no, because I think we're doing it in multiple ways. I think we're electrifying what's already up there, which is there are some metals already up in the air that are
Correct.
picked up through evaporation. And so some of our manipulation is done through electronic pulse and stuff like that. But even if we fully mastered weather manipulation, I still don't think that would make you a level 1 society.
No. What was that? Terraforming. Thank you for giving it back to me, Mr. Waters. Terraforming makes us level 1 Kardashev scale. That make all of that controlling the forces of nature makes us a 0.9. To get to a 0.8 is to harness the energy from the moving tides. Did that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And Gonzo, and that's why I try to explain it this way. People have had an effect on the weather, but I think control is a stronger word. Like it's almost
We
like,
can
oh,
manipulate the weather now. We can steer it and enhance it. We can't
Yeah.
tell the hurricane to appear here. Although some people have
disappear.
proven that correct. Although some people have proven that we can cause earthquakes at pinpoint locations, which there's many studies that prove these coincidences. Is how I'll say
But
that.
yeah, basically, I just don't think they have full control over it. I think it's more shot into the dark, and they think this might work. We hope A, B, and C gets us. I mean, A and B gets us to C, but we don't know if A and B is going to get us to F. But what we've studied before, it might get us to C.
Then I place in front of you. Doing a repeated action, knowing the outcome, is not insanity. Yet doing a repeated action, expecting a different outcome is. If we're doing a repeated action and we know the outcome of it, and we know exactly where to do this in order for that to cause over there, do you get what I just said?
Yeah, causality isn't the same
If we've done it, we can do it again.
Correlation doesn't.
Experimentation.
But correlation doesn't prove causality, and there's a level of hubris that's involved to know something is going to occur, rather than, oh, we think this might occur because we got something like this before.
I'm not saying the first time. I'm saying after you've repeated the action enough, you know the outcome. This is scientific experimentation. Am I incorrect?
No, because not just because of the variable factor. It's impossible to know something. Like, I really do think it's impossible to fully know something without the possibility of any other variable.
If I take 8 ounces of vinegar and a tablespoon of baking soda, what will happen no matter what? Is it insanity to think that it will not try to expand?
No, I don't think that's.
But do you get the analysis I'm putting down? Repeated experimentation to prove something true.
We know it's going to expand this much, or just, you know what I mean? When you get specific with it,
also what I'm agreeing with. I'm agreeing with it. Once we've done it X amount of times without the variables and knowing exactly what the variables are, we can pinpoint, okay, I want that earthquake in Haiti to happen. Oh, fuck, I said too much now.
And I still think I do still think there's, unexpected variables that occur regardless.
Yeah,
and
you've got the problem of like things can be missing in different areas. Like, yes, you can put vinegar and baking soda together. If you take oxygen out of that, it's not gonna really expand as much.
Noise.
Exactly. Like, I can't light my lighter in space because there's no oxygen. I can agree.
And I guarantee the first 100 times somebody did that experiment, they might not have been taking into the oxygen into the air, or the hydrogen in the air, or anything else. And then who knows how long it took it to do the same experience in a vacuum tight chamber where it's actually doing the results. And that's kind of the point of the Hadron Collider. It's just very isolated.
Right to Thomas Paine, which leads me directly to Thomas Paine and the inventor of the double slit experiment. Because he did this with a candle and some fucking cardboard in the 1800s and found the wave pattern. Not until modern days, whenever we figured out how to detect it, before and after, it has reached its location. It knows that we're detecting it. That's the weird thing, before and after.
No, we perpetuated the idea that it knows when it's being detected.
That's
you know what I mean?
I'm
That's not even that's the false narrative that we pushed.
The original Thomas Paine experimentation showed the wave pattern, and I'm not denying that. Not until later, whenever we got technology to detect which slit it went through or where it landed on the board, which means you can detect it before and after it lands. Does it snap to it's just 2 lines? And honestly, that's exactly what's going on right now. That's why Jacob Waters has a Harley shirt on. That's why Noah has a Nike hoodie on, is because the choice has been snapped into precision. And at this scale of size, you cannot but accept that it is snapped to precision because we're stuck this way.
What is it called? Because it's totally possible for a chaos event to happen in reverse. Like if you were to shatter a glass, according to physics, it's possible for
in the quantum realm. It doesn't matter the arrow of time. No matter what occurs, it looks the same. But if I drop a glass in our perception of size, the glass can never reform. Is what you're trying to say?
I'm under the understanding that it can never come back together in that same way. But according to science, it can. Even though it's an improvable experiment.
To science, we're agreeing with you that the glass stays broken. It cannot reshape onto the table fixed. This is what we're agreeing with. But on the quantum level, it does not matter the arrow of time. Everything looks mirrored, so to speak. Exactly, no matter which way time flows.
I have to look up what I'm talking about. I don't remember what it was called. But yeah. No, you're on
I
the
don't
same
remember
point as
the
me.
exact name, but that's the thought experiment behind it. You drop a glass, it can never reform on the table exactly the way it was.
Yeah.
Because of our physical size. And that's literally what it comes down to, Mr. Waters. It's our size. Because we can't shrink down. Our blood will explode, bro. Why? Because our red blood cells, our cells in our body are already at their smallest capable scale. We can't scale that down. That's why we can't shrink.
I don't even know how to look this up. They're just trying to give me fucking solutions to fixing a glass.
Yeah, but that's what it is. It's okay. Noah's too tired.
What was that, Noah?
This is a lot of information for 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, I bet.
It's time for this information.
There's always time for it. No, I get you though. So what's on the table then, Noah?
Well, I'm stuck with between shove something on the TV and just sit drinking my Southern Comfort. Sit with you lot. I'll go
Drinking some SoCo. What do you do? What do you do with your SoCo? Or are you just drinking it straight?
That's imported liquor for her, dude.
Oh, SoCo and lime.
Lemonade.
Pre-mixed. Nice.
That's imported for her, dude.
Oh, I know. Southern Comfort is got so much sugar in it, but it's really good. I really like it. It's so sweet.
I drink Monster for a living, so that's not a lot of sugar.
Yeah, I can't do Monster anymore. That's rough too. Monster would like turn my insides out. I actually just started my diet again, and now I'm trying to stay away from like regular food.
So how does that grass feel, Mr. Waters?
What's that?
How does that grass feel since you're over there touching it?
The grass? What do you mean?
I don't think you. Okay. Let me backtrack and let you understand what I've seen from the conversation.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not eating like salads and shit. That's not what my diet consists of.
Okay, let me backtrack so that my phrase can make sense.
Okay.
Noah said it was too early in the morning for this conversation. And then we started having a superficial conversation. And then I looked at you and said, how does that grass feel that you're touching? You went out and touched some grass. You brought it back down to the ground level, Mr. Waters.
I mean, just say that. Just say that.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I mean,
that's harder.
me and
That's
Noah,
that harder. My brain hurt to do that.
me and Noah
took
didn't.
it from your side.
Me and Noah didn't have to say what we were doing. We both realized we were going into a simpler conversation than talking about reversing the break of a glass to see if it would come back together. I thought me and Noah were on the same page. I didn't think.
But Noah, that's the thing. You're not touching your face because of quantum physics, but you think you are. It's a magnetic repulsion you're actually feeling from every single atom that is conjoined together.
The only way I learned the word quantum physics was from a TV show.
Which TV show?
Big Bang. Literally,
Okay.
all science knowledge is Big Bang. So my head is just okay.
Okay, just look at me like Sheldon and everything will be fine.
You're not Sheldon. No.
I didn't say I was Sheldon, but
You haven't even get me a bazanga. No, you get nothing.
Motherfucker. Don't make me come over there and pluck you in the nose and show you what the headset looks like whenever it's off, because we both know we can go a few rounds without the headset.
I'm gonna be that weird kid from Roseanne that lives in the basement. Isn't he on the Big Bang? I don't know his name, but he's from Roseanne.
Yes.
He used to date Darlene.
Oh, his
Yeah.
name is Leonard on the show and David and Roseanne.
I can't watch that movie. I mean that show anymore after hearing it without a laugh track. That is so weird to watch. It is the weirdest, goofiest thing. Big Bang.
Now, what Friends about the laugh track?
Oh, I know.
That
Friends
sounds
is
creepy.
cringy. It's like super cringy.
Everything's okay until you look at what Ross says.
Yeah, Ross is he's supposed to be an idiot. I just don't know why
Until you
people
take the
laugh at it.
laughing away.
And then it's just creepy serial killer.
More like kiddly filler, but hey.
Oh, come on now. Come on now. Why is that always the last and first thing to resort to call somebody? May I ask the question that never gets fucking answered?
I support Jimmy Carr in trying to change the language around these types of scenarios. He no longer uses the R word. He likes to call it a struggle snuggle.
I'm British. I just say how it is, and I don't care.
Oh, and yeah, and he had a joke for those people too. It's why he doesn't use the phrase "I'm kidding," because he also thinks that should be a phrase for those people. Is like, "I'm kidding."
I'm not. That's the thing. I'm not.
Because that's like I don't know what you'd call it. It wouldn't be a past tense. It would be a current for somebody that's involved with kids. They'd be kidding.
Okay, Mr. Waters.
Over everyone's head.
Let's
The
rehash.
British comedian. What can I say?
Let's rehash an old discussion, man. If men suddenly had the thought in their mind that they're going to cage up all women, what can women actually do about it?
Pardon?
Oh, Mr. Waters heard the question.
I know what the question is. I'm going to let Noah field this one. I've heard this
I read
question,
half
and
of it.
I know
All
my
men
answer.
suddenly had the thought in their head that all women deserve to be in cages. What can women actually do?
But
Are
the
you-
same can be said about you. 'Cause I'm not
One
being
second.
funny.
Here's
There's
the thing.
loads of women
You-
out there
you
that are
women
going to
will
be
not
stronger
physically
than you
enforce
that can
that.
put you in a cage.
You women will not physically enforce that, but us men can physically enforce it upon you. Remember that next time
There's
that
women
are
that
using-
could take me. Curse, there's
Oh,
women that can take me out.
yeah, I can agree with you, Mr. Waters. There's definitely that. 0.1% of women that'll go underwater welding with a guy in a vacuum tube. But it doesn't happen very often. There's that 0.1% of women that'll go up 200 feet in the air and fix your electricity for you. But it's not every woman.
I would say in modern times, they would just do it by arms the same way that men do. That's how we enforce all of our laws. It's done by arms. It's not by physical combat. It doesn't really matter how many muscles you have to a drone strike.
Okay. Then explain how us fucking idiots defeated things 2 times our size, 3 times our muscle mass, and 5 times our speed.
What are you talking about? Get
How did we rise above the Neanderthals as well as the other humanoid species on this planet and be the only ones remaining?
You can say the argument, but men lost a war to emus. Fucking birds.
We gave up.
Hey, I'm not
physical-
saying men are smart. I'm not saying men are smart. We never said anything about that at the beginning of the conversation because we can all agree that it's pretty stupid to cage human beings up. But the fact was, if men decided to one day to cage every female,
it wouldn't work.
what will women actually do?
It wouldn't work. And it's because we gave away we gave up the need for physical prowess in order to win wars. I mean, and I think it escalated to a point of nuclear, and then once everybody got to nuclear, it was just like, oh, it really doesn't really matter how strong you are. If somebody drops a nuke, like it doesn't really matter how many men you have, how many women you have. It doesn't really matter. None of that matters.
So an equalizer is always the solution, according to humanity.
No, it doesn't matter because even a man could carry a gun. So it wouldn't be an equalizer in that sense, wouldn't it? It would just be an overpowering tool.
Is that not what you are stating? Is that not what we're putting here?
No, an equalizer is something that brings people.
What can women do about it?
An equalizer brings people to the same level. A more advanced, version of that for somebody that's already more advanced than the other sex, it wouldn't be an equalizer. It would be just, something to make it more overpowered, especially if we're talking physical prowess in some aspect. Because you're talking about the physical of putting someone in a cage.
What can women really do about it? That's the basic question right there. If men decided X, what can women actually legitimately do about it?
They could do anything that we could do. Just because none of the things that we enforce are done by actual, people aren't just shoving people in cages and they're worried about getting beat up.
I'm not saying any of this is moral. I'm just basically saying what I've said. But flip the tables around. If women said X, men will look at them and laugh.
Let's just do it.
Literal difference, man.
Let's just do it on a simple level. Let's just do it guys to guys. If a couple of police officers decide they're going to arrest Chuck Liddell and he decides, I don't feel like going to jail. Does he just not go to jail if he beats up the police officers, or does he still go to jail?
Nope, you bring in a SWAT team if you actually want to do something, and that's the whole fucking point here.
But the point is the physical prowess doesn't matter. It's usually done on another level outside of physical.
Yes, no matter what, it will be enforced. And that's the thing. That's what I'm putting down. If men said X,
what I'm putting down,
women have to. If women said X, men would fold their arms and laugh.
Oh no, they'd have to too, if the enforcement was there, because the enforcement has nothing to do with physical. That's the point I'm putting down. It doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman that's enforcing said laws if they're not backed by anything. If Joe Biden says, "Hey, don't do that," and nobody believes he actually means that, then they're just going to do that, regardless, because if they're not worried about a physical threat, then it's just an empty promise. Like there's nothing there.
Just like I can say Trump was actually shot in PA. I saw the blood bag and noticed the extra time it took for them to stand back up, but nobody else noticed it. Now we got a Trump in office.
You think they swapped him on that?
Dude, Trump died. Trump's dead. Trump been dead. This ain't Trump. Like the easiest way to get someone
Bold
to do
claims.
something that you
Bold
want them
claims,
to
sir.
do
And
make
and to
them
be
think
honest,
it is their idea.
I don't know what the rules are about talking about presidential assassinations in that way.
Oh,
But
it's been out the window
I would
ever
assu-
since fucking
I would
Hillary's
assume-
ran.
But assume it's not taken very lightly on YouTube, if I had to guess.
My man, that went
Probably
out
more of a
office
Rumble topic.
Whenever Hillary and Trump ran for office against each other, we learned then that we're allowed to talk bad about the president of America. Whereas before we weren't. I'll acknowledge before we were not. But after that, yeah. That's whenever it was allowed.
I'll believe that when YouTube takes away my strikes about COVID.
Oh wow. What happened with Blovit? Oh, wait. You want me to stop? I'll stop.
No, I'm allowed to talk about it. I'm allowed to talk about it now. I just I almost got my whole channel taken away because of fucking COVID shit. It's funny because it's the video that everybody references today. And when I played it, I accidentally uploaded the video on an accident.
Oh, so you were the OG guy. Good job.
Well, I don't know, I wasn't the OG guy by any means. I was one of the many people that got flagged for COVID related stuff on YouTube. But I just uploaded directly the video of what was his face? Jon Stewart and the guy that started with Jon Stewart. Stephen Colbert. And Jon Stewart came on Stephen Colbert and he was like, "Oh, you mean this virus, this COVID virus? Maybe it was created at this COVID lab that's in Wuhan. Maybe that's why he calls it the Wuhan flu." And he just went down this like huge rant about it definitely didn't come from a bat. And now they're finally just figuring that out in the news. No, it didn't come from a wet market bat. It came from a lab where they're doing coronaviruses, and it was a lab leak.
Okay, man. I put out a bulletin in 2009. I don't know if I've told you this story or not, but I asked if somebody found out a large, more than 100 acres. I put down a stipulation, more than 1,000 acres of land that was sold. Make sure to let me know whenever it happens. It just so happens that some kind of mining something in Australia was sold. It was huge. It was big ass land. And after that happened, I legitimately stated near the end of the summer, the beginning of fall, like in August or some shit, they're about to release a bioweapon. October, it happens. You know what I say in October whenever we get wind, not confirmed, just wind? I say, okay, watch the presidential election have a
You're talking about 2000. You said 2009.
19.
Oh, you said 9. I was like, wait a minute.
I knew I said 10.
That's a year after I graduated. No, I wasn't talking. I wasn't thinking about COVID.
I said 2019. So yeah, in 2019, I put out a bulletin about big ass land sold.
Yeah, I got it in October of that year.
Yeah, and whenever the bioweapon hit in October, like I said, there's going to be a riot at the presidential election. It's just the things you see. It's all part of the show. And whenever you have this script, people look at you like you're crazy.
People looked at me like I was crazy when I got COVID before it was on the news. I got it before Tom Hanks. I was like, oh shit.
I ate that shit twice in like 6 hours.
I didn't even know what it was at the time. I was coughing up blood. Felt like shit. Like it was a bad time to be. I was in the middle of the woods for like 2 weeks. And the first night I was there, it was snowing, and I was setting up my tent, and we didn't have any dry wood or anything. I'm just setting up my shit in the middle of the woods, and we were 2 miles away from my car. We were a mile away from my car on foot, and then you had to kayak another mile to get to our spot. And then me and my cousin had been smoking joints all the way to where we were camping at. And oh yeah, by the time I got there, I was sick. I was so sick.
I like this story. Y'all might like this story. So I called up one of my booty buddies, and she told
Wait,
me,
whoa.
yeah. And she told me she had COVID. I'm like,
You just say,
no, that makes more of a reason you need to come over. And that's how I got COVID twice.
just say girl. Don't call it a buddy. You don't have to. You should be specific on gender when you're talking about your booty buddy. I think that's one of those times that you should be
not
more
hear the
specific about
pronouns?
gender.
I don't play your little God was confused whenever he made me, and I think I'm
If
the
you
opposite
don't-
gender. I don't play that game.
If you don't want to play the pronoun game, then I'm going to assume the gender.
I did say
I'm
my
going-
pronoun.
You said buddy. Buddy is
If you
genderless.
didn't interrupt the sentence, you would have heard the pronoun after I said booty buddy. She called me and said she had COVID, and I said that's more of a reason to come over.
My friend with benefits.
My boink knocker.
Pena said everyone would
weekend
turn
meal?
into snakes. Pena stopped in the other day when I was kayaking. Got to talk to
Yeah,
him
I
for a little
think
bit.
weekend meal is a better one.
Who?
Weekend meal.
Weekend meal?
Yeah, weekend meal.
I mean,
Think about it one
Because-
more second, and then you figured it out.
well, no, because I like to use the phrase like you could be on a diet and still look at the menu. So I feel like that's very along my lines.
What can
but,
you eat? What can you eat and never gain a pound?
Oh, I know that one. Ooh, ooh,
Oh.
ooh, ooh.
Oh, see, I think Noah figured out why she's called the weekend meal now. Okay, now, and I told you it was a good name. It just
She-
took a minute.
Who said she was the weekend meal? You
No.
were referring to it as your booty buddies.
That's what I'm fucking sitting here saying. Now she gets what weekend meal is. People just really don't understand my context sometimes, do they?
No, sometimes you got to break it down very specifically because you skip over key points.
Okay, I'll walk up to the cow and say burger as much as I want to, just like I'll walk up to the tree and say notebook as much as I want to.
I think the
Okay.
problem you slightly have is you see yourself as a person, but lasses to you you see as a completely different thing. I've noticed that with you.
Say that again.
Like, Zero sees lasses as like something else. Like, I don't know how to explain, like, not an object, but like something completely different. to what
That
we
was
have.
literally the only word I missed in the entire conversation. What she said was lasses. So
Yeah,
yeah, you're
it was
absolutely correct. They're
lassies.
not
It was
exactly-
lassies, like the American dog. You know,
It didn't throw off what she was saying, but it was the only thing that made it not make sense until I understood that she said lassies. So
okay,
yeah,
let me break this
innocent-
before you
yeah.
answer that, Cursed.
Okay,
Let me break
sure,
this
I'll
down
try.
even further. The way you just described this to us Americans was because Lassie was a show that we had in the United States. Lassie was the
Lassis.
dog.
Lassis.
What did you say? Lastis?
Lassis.
Lasses.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Because I immediately heard Lassie, and I know that Lassie's a dog. Dogs would be calling bitches. And I was going a whole different direction with this conversation.
A man that cannot be manipulated by fornication intimidates a female. That which can only be used has no power.
Yeah, because sex is control. But only if it's
To refer to what you're stating, Noah. Yes, they are not objects, but they are not men either.
would you agree that women have more power than any other
Only
human
if
on the
allowed.
planet?
Only if allowed.
Oh no, guaranteed, unfettered power.
Oh, guarantee I could pluck a bitch on the nose and not give a fuck about her, but she'll still have it dripping wet.
That doesn't make any sense. It didn't fit.
Yes, it does. That's exactly how it works.
My
The
thing
less
is
you give,
the
more
only
they
reason
want.
men
The more you
the
give,
only
the less
reason
they
men
want.
fight
Tell me
wars.
I'm fucking wrong, you Mr. Waters. Tell me I'm fucking wrong.
You're wrong. Why do men fight wars?
Because
Because
men
they
started it.
can.
Nope. That's not the answer,
Because
Chris.
they can.
Nope.
Men fight wars because other men.
Come on, give
started
it your full expertise. Why do men fight wars with other men?
Because my dick's bigger than yours.
Nope, that ain't it.
Well, that's definitely a
think it
false statement, but no, I'll acknowledge I got a little dick. You got a problem with that?
No, that's
I'm
not what we're
glad I
skipping
can't
over.
take
We're
one.
skipping over
I'm
why
glad I
men
don't throw a woman out
why
like a
men
TV
fight wars.
vampire.
If you have to get rid of the other man because you're worried about his dick size, I mean, why are you worried about his dick size? What's the initial goal here? Why are men fighting other men for any reason?
That's mine and not yours.
But what are they referring to?
Give me the ball
Why do they want the ball?
because it's mine.
Nope, that ain't why.
No, it is mine. I don't care if
No.
you say it's yours, it's mine.
Men have one job on this whole planet.
And that's the blow. Never mind. I'm shutting up.
It's okay. You can yield to this argument if you'd like.
And that's the
But
blow.
you know
out the
why
back.
we fight wars. You know, even if it's for objects or power or anything like that, it still goes back to protection. And why would somebody want said power, or
validation of others.
specifically one sex?
Specifically for
Jacob's
what
digging into this
fucking
one.
reason? Now, go back to the beginning. The more you give, the less they give. The less you give, the more they give. Is that
That's-
incorrect?
That's why I say it comes down to the person yielding the power. Not all women
Power.
use sex as power,
Might makes right.
and not all men put pussy on a pedestal.
Ain't that the fucking truth? And very few are left that are like that way.
Jealousy is a good answer too, Gonzo, but there's a root issue to the jealousy. What are they jealous of?
That they could spit out the fucking babies, but I don't want to spit out a fucking baby.
I'm not jealous that women can do that. I'm glad women can do that and that men can't.
I'm glad women have to.
I'm
do
so
that
glad
shit.
men. I'm
Just
so glad
sons of
men
life
can't do
will
that.
swallow it.
You know how bad society would be if men could choose to have babies? Just by
Don't even
themselves.
talk about that. Don't even talk about that. We'll go to Congress and talk about butthole babies again. Miss Noah, you have the floor now.
Men die of the flu. Like, you can't say women are weak.
Women die of the flu too. What do you mean? Humans die of the flu is what you're saying.
You can see women have the flu, go to work, take care of kids and all sorts. You don't have the flu. You're in bed for about a week, crying bloody murder.
And I don't know how it was for you, but prior to COVID, if I didn't come into work puking, I wasn't going home. You work. Like prior to COVID, all of the work dynamic changed. Oh yeah,
Dude, I don't
any
care if
excuse.
you're missing fingers and arm and eyeball. You better be at your desk.
Oh yeah, you're
Morning.
like I don't know. I work construction jobs, so your boss does not care if you have a cold or a cough or if your kid needs to get to school. Like that's not even an
It
issue
is
for
better
them.
to be dismissed than not to appear. Let me put
Exactly.
that one down.
Exactly.
I think
Because
special treatment.
You
is
would
in
just
there.
get lost. Yeah.
Yeah, you special treatment, woman privilege, like them
And-
black people
and
say
girls-
white
and
privilege,
gir-
I say woman privilege.
I would make the argument that it's harder to fire a woman than it is to fire a guy. Like I said, I think women have a lot more
Not doing your
privilege.
job right. This chair stinks. I need to throw it away. Get out of my building.
No, I'm saying stipulation wise with laws, I think it's a lot harder to fire a woman than it is to
Because
fire a man.
you can't fire them based off of performance anymore. Because it
Because
becomes a whole ethnic thing. It becomes a whole
It's the same
gender
thing it's the same thing if a white and a black man are fighting for any reason. Immediately it's gotta be racial.
Come on, man. Come on, man. If teenagers are beating professional women at soccer, do you not think
What up,
them
Brian?
teenagers deserve money
Black ice in the
compared to those
house.
females who are getting their ass whooped?
I missed it.
Come on,
I'm
man.
sorry. I had to give the shout out. I missed it.
Okay, I apologize. Teenage boys obliterate female professional soccer players. Teenage male soccer players. Obliterate female pro soccer players constantly.
Women destroy, girls destroy boys in all sports all the way up until puberty.
What? When
Women,
have you seen an 8-year-old play football?
kids are better at the girls develop faster than boys. Boys are slow starters. And then once puberty kicks in, that's when boys eventually get the advantages. But prior to that, none.
Because women get distracted and men become focused.
No, men become more physically able, and then the chemistry of their bodies change on both levels. So you'd find advantages in both sexes from it.
But they beg. Okay, completely understood. No, they beg to be paid as much as male athletes. Whenever they can't even. Yes, they do.
Psychology would tell you women don't have the same. And I don't know if it's changed over time, but when I was growing up, women were less likely to ask for a raise. They were less likely to get the promotion because they didn't push for it. They do.
Okay,
it's very common.
Beyond all that and all this extracurricular stuff, you yourself just literally stated it is more difficult to fire a female based off of performance than it is to fire a man off of performance. Please tell me, what is the benefits behind being a female versus being a man if this is true? Is this not sexism with the coin flipped around?
I've depending on where you live, I think in my state specifically, I think the laws are set against men specifically, but and I think it's much easier for women, and I would assume it's like that in California, New York, and Illinois. But I know different states vary.
Therefore, you're agreeing that the law is prejudiced against men.
Yeah, specifically men. Yeah, and
yes, and we're all agreeing here.
But my balance in understanding it is this laws that haven't caught up with modern times, because I do think it was like some of the laws that are established now are just older laws that, like we were talking about earlier with some of those bullshit laws that we were looking at. Some of the legit laws that they put in were for deadbeat dads back in the 50s and 60s. And that's why these laws were put into place, so people didn't leave their kids behind, start relationships, and then just take off. And that's why they were established. But now society's different and the laws haven't caught back up with society yet.
Correct. And now let's go way back in the day and realize that it was landowners, not men specifically. It was specified as landowners had rights, so to speak. And it wasn't men specifically. It was those who own land. And you know me, I'm going to have to bring up the Witch of Wall Street, the woman who invented the motherfucking nickel, to show you that women can make it in the 1800s, y'all. I'm telling you, we're not oppressing females. We're only looking at the ones that intentionally hold themselves back and tell them they can do better. I'm not trying to be a masculine man. I'm not trying to be an alpha piece of shit. I'm trying to let all of us know that we can all do better, but we choose
What I would tell you is a better way to prove your point is to do it with laws. Like, talk about laws. Like, would women have any rights in the United States if it wasn't for men? That would be the argument I would make, because it's not a physical prowess argument. It's because men had to give women all of these rights in order for them to have them.
It's basically the reverse question. If man said no, women's not allowed. If man said yes, women is allowed.
But it's not enforced by physical prowess. That's why it's different. I mean, at the end of the day, all laws.
It's not literally enforced by the law. It's enforced by
the women. because everybody goes, oh, the reason that women are allowed to vote is because of the women's suffrage and this and that. It was like, no, because a
I'm
group of
anti-suffrage.
guys decided that they were going to allow it. To
Yeah,
be fair,
I'm all for the woman not being out in the evils of the fucking world. And they begged and pleaded to be out in the evils of the fucking world. And look
Oh,
what
yeah.
happened to over 90% of them. Their children and they and their children's children were overly fucking corrupted. And
I
you
was
can't deny
talking
that.
to somebody about the rights that women gave away because they used to be considered property of their husband, I guess. However you want to spell it out. But what was cool was they couldn't acquire any debt. Women were allowed to spend as much of their husband's money, credit, whatever they wanted to, and the husband was immediately required to take care of that. It was only his debt. There was no her debt. Now, since women are more independent, they're allowed to have their own debt. They can be in debt to the government just like everybody else. And I was just thinking,
Hey,
oh my
you really
God,
wanna laugh,
what a
Mr.
bad
Walters?
choice.
You really want to fucking laugh? How about we go back to the days where a virgin cost 2 goats and a cow?
I need a bathroom break, but
Yeah.
you want to field this?
I did that already. That's what we just did.
That's what
That's
we just did.
literally what we
I
just
didn't even
did.
read it. All right. At the end of the day, yes, men and women are biologically different, which I think we could all agree on.
Yeah.
But we should all deserve the same chance no matter what. You forget men had the rights, women had none years ago. Yeah. And you also have to, and play devil's advocate with you as well, Noah. You have to thank men for giving you those rights. You wouldn't have them without men agreeing that they could have it. But now that we have them, men feel attacked. I would say it depends on where you're at, what men are dealing with. I think there is something to the red pill society if you ever look into it a little bit, especially when you're talking about men's rights. Men have a lot less rights than women do, or I don't know if I would say less rights, but men have a lot higher risk of life. Like, even if we're talking about, I mean, you guys don't deal with a what's it called? A draft. Yeah, draft's a good one. That was something that comes with.
We're not looking for thanks. We're looking for acknowledgement.
Well, that's something that came with it. Like, in order to vote as a man, you'd have to apply for the draft as well. Like, that's just kind of how it works. There's a lot of things that men aren't entitled to. I know I didn't. I wanted to catch this up.
Yeah, we
Ever
don't.
since
We
somebody
wouldn't have-
said Angel Reese looks like Sid from Ice Age, I can't take her serious anymore. Who is that?
It's like Weiss from Miley Cyrus. Weiss and Miley Cyrus. We wouldn't have to thank them if they weren't power thirsty brutes. And my literal answer to that was, we don't want you to thank us. We just want you to acknowledge the fact that without us, just like without you, there'd not be future generations. Without us, you'd not be able to do what you do right now.
And I think this goes back to what I was talking about with the reason that men go to war. And I think you look at this statement differently than I do. I look at this statement as responsibility from basically their dad's the first one that's responsible for making sure that they're taken care of, everything goes well, they're safe. Like, that's the first level. And then that's the whole idea of a father giving away his daughter. It's not because she's property. It's, hey, this is your responsibility now. You do whatever you can to make sure this person's safe. Like, it's not, I don't think it's like, hey, she's your slave now, she'll do whatever you want. That's not how that works. But I think that's how it's perceived now in modern times. And I think,
yeah, a lot of things are misunderstood, misrepresented, and twisted this modern day and age, just because people like to insert their own crap into it because they don't really understand the demographic of what was going on at that point in time. That's how come I brought up, hey, back in the day, way back in the day, you know how cheap a virgin was? 2 goats and a cow. And I know it's going to sound fucked up, but you can get a 15-year-old for that fucking much. But I'm just stating the way that times have fucking changed. And the way that civilization became society. And whenever you trace it all the way back, it started with agriculture. If you legitimately want to trace it back, what was the catalyst that actually changed things? It was agriculture. And yes, I completely agree with women have complete domain over their dwelling. I completely agree with that. But that's what men were doing. They were preventing women from the evils of the world. And I'll stick by that argument because I am an anti-suffrage individual. I do not think that women need to be subjected to the harshnesses of reality under any circumstance, no matter if society pushed you out there, no matter if you feel as though you can do it yourself. In the way that things are established, men are looking down upon women while women look up to men. It's the way it has been done since the beginning of civilization.
And
no, go ahead.
No, I was listening. I was just.
I was going to answer her question. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I want to field this one. She says you're talking about responsibility, but women had the responsibility of looking after men, such as feeding them and making sure the house is sorted for them. So, the food that you're talking about, the house that you're referring to, women didn't have to pay for any of that at the time. That was one of the luxuries of it. So yes, it was like, here, we'll gift you this house. It comes with this relationship and the other obligations, you know, being involved in a relationship. But yeah, that was the thing. The woman wasn't splitting the bill with men at the time. I think that's also what changed in society. Good luck getting a woman to do that if she's paying for half the fucking bills. Like if you're not being the provider, which was the original job, be the supporter and provider, and if you're not doing that part, then good luck getting that classical the marriage side of it, I guess.
So to her statement, you're saying women need to be protected, right? No. I'm saying women are very easily able to be influenced by nearly anything, whereas a man is conditioned not to allow things to affect them. A woman can very easily be convinced about nearly anything. All you need is 5 seconds. It takes nothing to convince a woman of something, no matter how good you think you are. But that's the thing I'm putting on the table. Men are designed to repel things, and women are designed to accept things. I'm just trying to explain the what's the correct word? I don't want to say the wrong. The psychological, that might be the proper word. The psychological disposition, the psychological demographic of what men and women are for each other is more or less what I'm stating. Women are accepting, men are repelling, and that's how we attract.
I don't think women need to be protected in modern society, but I would say men want to protect women in modern society, and they want to be providers because I think it makes them feel more accomplished. And I think it's healthy all together. I think that's what's a great dynamic and why men and women are so biologically different and why they mesh so well is it's a joint thing. It's not really and you can actually get that out of any relationship. It's just people have to be counterbalances to each other. It doesn't matter if you're talking guys or if you're talking girls. When you're the same person, you butt heads more. And opposites usually actually attract a little bit better, whether we're talking magnets or whether we're talking people.
We discussed that quite recently, where most laws are targeted towards men and the justice system is prejudice against men. But yeah, it's more of a women desire security, and if he's a chivalrous man and he's not a piece of shit and he's not just doing it for to be a simp, yeah, he desires to be that security. And that's the thing that many people have forgotten, that love through the years was a contract. And just now, since we have the luxuries of technology, we can actually embrace these things that we think are actually true. Maybe
She
you can
believes-
translate that better.
She believes the NBA should be played as much as supported as much as the WNBA, or they should be getting paid as much as NBA players. That just comes down to people watching it. You gotta get more people to watch it. I would say change the outfits and get a whole different team, because nobody wants to look at those girls. If I'm telling you sex sells, and it ain't working. Just saying. That's what society is based on right now. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know that many people that are worried about what Brittany Griner's up to, or whoever the fuck is. She's the only one I knew about, and most people hated her because she got traded for a Russian killer. But let me break this down a little bit farther, Noah. I would say that men, we're looking at the same statement and seeing different things. I would say that yes, men have a higher rate of suicide. I think men carry a lot more stress on them in life than women do. I would say there's a reason that alcohol and drugs ties into that as well, but could be wrong. And yes, I would say more men deal with like PTSD and have drinking problems than women who don't go to war.
Let me be a little more clear.
It could be a really good reason.
Men are taught to suppress,
and they have a lot more dangerous and stressful
women are
jobs.
taught to express, is what I'm trying to put down. Men are taught to suppress their feelings. Women are taught to express their feelings. So therefore, women can be influential as well as more easily influenced, because men choose not to allow that because that's how they're conditioned. But men are.
I think that idea is changing.
Yes,
I agree with you. Like in our lifetime, yeah, men were taught not to cry, to be tough, or whatever. I don't think that's the same anymore, though.
But now that 2 + 2 = 5, we never know what's walking down the street.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, in my lifetime, I've seen people be like, no, it's okay to cry. It's okay. Like, and yeah, growing up, yeah, always had to be tough. And it was just, I agree with you, though. It's like, that's how we were probably raised a little bit more, in our parents and so on. But yeah, it definitely evolved since then.
But no, I will not agree with your final statement. I will say it's definitely devolved since then, sir, is what I'll say.
Evolve doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be a benefit.
Well, then it's merely a mutation, is it not?
No. I think if it anytime you do something, it's to survive in the situation around you. So if the situation around you is fucked and you're just doing it because that's the societal standard, that doesn't mean you're devolving. It means you're evolving to try to fit your current situation. But no, I don't think it's more beneficial, but I think you're doing it to fit in or to flow and maybe, you know what I mean? Be able to carry on. Does that make sense?
Every strong person is a story that made them this way.
Oh yeah, A, B, and C had to happen for me to get to this, because if A, B, and C didn't happen, I definitely wouldn't be
had to occur in order for HIJ to happen, for elemental P to be realized.
Right.
Like, dude, I'm telling you, like, let's just jump up into the fucking universe for a moment. If I wasn't told that the Mandela event was going to occur, I would have really shit my pants whenever it went down. But let's read what Noah put down.
Let me see. As much as you say men are here to protect and have more stress, I don't think that's like their only thing. Women's stress mainly comes from men. To be fair, take away all men. What are women's dangers and problems? So
You have
this,
it. You fucking
this
have
is-
it. I'm not touching this one.
yeah, this is an easy one. What's the point of makeup, Noah? Answer that. I'll do this one. This is a softball
Oh,
pitch.
mic drop.
What
Thank
is
you
the
very
point?
much.
What is the point of makeup? And also, who's making money on makeup when women buy it?
And then tell
Or-
me that makeup isn't influencing you whenever you put it on your face.
Oh yeah, here comes the self-esteem argument. I'm ready for that one too, but it's to raise my own self-esteem of societal standards of what a woman should be.
That means you care what other people think about you, which means that you're seeking self-validation, which means that you cannot do things by yourself. I'll stop, Mr. Waters.
Wait till you're see.
move
No,
your
this is a one-on-one conversation. Wait till you're off a work call and you get some more free time to talk about this, because I feel like it's easier if you're bouncing these ideas. Like
it's a context thing. You can't just sit here and I don't mean to be rude either. It's like I know she's not stupid. I've already acknowledged Noah's not stupid. Number two, she's from fucking Europe.
I don't know.
She's not
I think
American.
I think women could out hunt the animals for a little while, as long as there were still weapons on the planet.
My man, these women will fucking thrive. Don't fucking play with me. The only thing they couldn't do would be read fucking books.
It immediately made me think of, what do you do if what's that fucking thing that women are talking about now? If you see a bear and a man in the or what would you rather see in the woods, a bear or a man?
That's what I
Oh
meant
my
by cow and fucking. That's what I meant by cow and burger and notebook and fucking tree earlier. That's literally what I was saying.
You're not stupid. I don't think you're
No.
stupid at all. I think you're making good points. I just don't think you've heard the counters to them. That's why I was trying to phrase them in different ways than Zero was phrasing them too. I think me and him are both coming to the same point, but it's good to give you two perspectives on it that are somewhat similar, and you can actually think about other ideas with it. Just like I don't think
she likes it whenever she gets smacked. She comes back and says, "Harder, daddy."
that's not what she says. No,
That's literally what my translator said whenever I read, "Honey, I'm a stupid stupid ass doormat. I'm just like the minute." She said, "Slap me, and I'll say, do it harder, daddy."
it was more thrown off by the fact that we were talking about old customs and men being the property of women and stuff like that, and then to be like, "Honey, I'm stupid as a doormat."
She thinks this is foreplay. That's the humorous part.
No, it's not.
Come on, man.
You're reading into it too much.
Come on, man. Don't tell. Oh, wait. I forgot. You've had a lifetime girlfriend. You don't even know what game is if it was in front of your face.
Oh no, I know what it is. I do. No, I'm not gonna say it like that. Never mind. Moving on.
Oh, come on now. That was a good one, you son of a bitch. You know I got that. You know I'm 6 seconds ahead of these fucking insects. You know I caught 3/4 of that fucking sentence before you really stopped.
I couldn't say it because it might, depending on how it's perceived. It's not bad. It's not bad intentionally, but
It's either going to cause quiver or it's going to cause a dry spell. It just depends.
neither.
Come on,
But
man.
it does cause your butthole to tighten up just a little bit.
Oh, it caused the pucker.
That might have done
It caused a pucker? Oh, man.
Yeah.
Now I have to know why I feel deprived now.
it. Oh, she's back. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Hello. How are ya?
All right, lads. Are you?
That's more Aussie than English, man. Sorry
That's
about
all right.
that.
I try my best.
Okay, now say it.
So do you really think women have it worse than men?
I wouldn't.
Yes.
It depends what context you're trying to say. If you're trying to say like fairness, yes. But say you go off like society, no. It depends on what
Say
you're
the
trying to
first
talk
one
about.
again. Do I think you have an advantage? Is that what you said?
No, like women have it easier in like society ways, social ways, but they also have it harder like academically and like doing jobs. They also have it harder doing that. Yes, you say there's a lot more things protecting us, but there's
What
still ideas there.
what fields would you point to that say that women don't have an advantage in like jobs or something like that? Because you pointed to education, and I can point to a few
I pointed out
fields
the Wolf of Wall
that
Street, the woman that
that
created
women absolutely dominate in, where men aren't even there.
I mean, like fields that women dominate is like, I don't know, social care, children, families. Like that's the main thing
Medical,
that comes to my mind.
medical too.
But like,
You know, a lot of
when you're
male. You know, a lot of
talking
male nurses.
about, in my end, there is quite a lot, to be fair. Then again, I live in
It
the
goes
UK. We
back
get a
to
lot
the
of
point women are conditioned to express their feelings.
immigration people coming.
But I agree with you. Women are better at the social aspect and the nurturing aspect, which is what I would consider a womanly quality. Whether people don't want, not all women have that quality, but I would consider it more common in women.
Which goes back to the fact women are conditioned to express their feelings, whereas men aren't.
And they're better at reading feelings too. They're better at picking up cues than guys as well.
I think anybody who actually can read, I mean, like if you've been trained in something, you obviously know something. But if somebody actually understands subtle body language, that's simple stuff, Mr. Waters.
Well, no. So I usually talk about it on another level. I talk about it like I always say when I'm talking Mud Rabbit, I say she's way more perceptive to certain things than I am, and sometimes I even have to be under the influence of things to have the same level of clairvoyance that she has.
Oh,
naturally.
Excuse me, but I'm not. Conduits of the creator are very difficult to have conversations with anymore for myself.
Yeah, I don't have to.
I can send you the red
creator,
dress
though.
meme, and you can have full context on that, and you can give it to the audience, but if you want. But it's basically Neo Morpheus red dress. My perception of what's being stated.
All right, let's bring it back to the first level society. What if we're actually not a first level society and everybody on the surface of this planet just thinks we are?
What if we're all really holograms?
No. What if we have the ability to manipulate all of these things and control all of these things like we see in the media and stuff like that?
Well,
but
what if we're
we
actually
give the public
scale 1.2 instead of 0.7 like where the public is told? Oh my gosh, the humans would go in an uproar. There would be chaos in the fucking streets. There would be fucking chaos in the damn streets because they would wonder why are they still subservient to a system and forced to do things whenever at that level you no longer require currency. You hit 0.9, you don't require currency. 0.91 is no currency.
You got to say it like Russell Brand. Pandemonium.
But the thing is that by the time you get there, okay, think about it. What's the biggest amount of money that can be stated on this planet right now? Hundreds of trillions. By the time we actually get to 0.6, we'll be at the quintillions, the sextillions of amount of fucking money. This is why currency gets abolished once you become technologically advanced, because you no longer have the requirement for it. The resources are then become the currency again, just as it was before.
Like it'll just go back from the fact of money.
Back to barter,
Just
correct.
is just a thing, is given a value. It doesn't actually represent anything. It doesn't do anything. It's just given a value which means something.
Yeah. Well, it depends on your currency. I think things that are backed by precious metals actually hold value.
I'm agreeing with that. Resources have value. Currency does fucking not.
Yes. It's only if it's backed by something with value. But we can also depreciate said value. Like when Elon Musk is talking about, oh, we should go like mine this meteorite or this asteroid or whatever, and they're talking about bringing back like insane amounts of precious metals. That would decrease the money value of everybody if they did that.
But you do realize that greed is the reason for capitalization, because it normally just came down to a guy learned how to make soda. He sold the fucking contract. It became a business with executives that need to make sure that it remains profitable because capitalism. And this is how the country began.
No. It goes back to a much simpler thing that we were talking about earlier. So why does this man want to have all this money and power? What's he going to do it? All right, I'll give you two scenarios. The rich businessman has two choices. He gets all of this power and money and wealth, and he surrounds himself with sexy, in shape men, or he surrounds himself with women that he would like to procreate with.
Why do you think I chose to be a wise man instead of a rich man?
Because you want hunks around you, or butt buddies, as you call them. Booty buddies? Is that what you call them?
You know, it's funny whenever you do it, Mr. Waters, because I know it's a joke whenever it's coming to you. But whenever other people do it, it's literal ridicule. But that was a good one, man. That was a fucking good one. But that's the point. I'd rather be intellectually rich instead of currency rich.
I don't know. I think security in its own is a form of currency. Like that's what people look for. That's
what? Security from what? Giving up freedom for comfort? Hello. You know what my argument is here. And you know this is still superficial.
Worrying about your immediate doesn't mean you have to give up security for said comfort. There's plenty of people that probably have ways of protecting themselves in this country that might not actually be legal in the eyes of the law.
You know what I just did, Mr. Waters?
You changed to a picture.
Yeah, I threw up a picture, and this is my argument.
You take a half day. I can't ever read it with all this stuff. Hold on.
Well, move your fucking hunky ass in the fucking hot tub that only your wife is paying attention to.
You take half the day to work, 1/4 of the day to rest, 1/6 of the day for yourself, 3 times the amount I make. Sit on my ass and enjoy my full 6 hours, 6 parts of the day. I don't see the profit. I accept any change to this logical through knowledge. And then tell me the working class is not the circle. What?
Please tell me that is not Mr. Waters' I'm reading face. That has to be a frozen face. Oh my gosh.
So I read the last part over and over again for the last minute. You should take out the I don't see the profit.
Because I don't see the profit.
You don't see it in the same way. You're seeing a profit from it, otherwise you wouldn't do it.
I sit on my ass all day while you sit there and work for 3 times the amount I make. I don't see that as profitable, making 3 times the amount I make whenever I'm sitting on my ass.
Oh, so you're just as miserable as the slaves?
I'm sitting on my ass, but I'm not wasting my day to the system. I'm not a slave to the system is what I'm putting. I don't see the profit of being a slave to the system.
That's what I'm saying. So you're profiting differently.
I'm profiting by enjoying my full fucking day.
Yeah, so you do see the profit.
This is just the argument.
And that's why I kept reading it, by the way. I was
I
like,
don't
wait a
see
minute.
the profit whenever I'm sitting on my ass enjoying my full day.
You do.
And
That's
you're
why you're
making
allowed to
three
sit on your ass. That is said profit. That is
You're making
your
3 times the amount of money I am, if not more.
who?
Anyone
Anyone?
that's wiping their ass in America.
So
is
that's
making
the only
minimum
thing.
$3,000 a month.
So then you'd say that they're profiting from it and you're not profiting from it, from your lifestyle?
They're not profiting. I don't see their profit. I don't see the profit for busting my ass.
You don't see
For
any
money.
profit. I don't see the profit.
I don't see the profit for busting my ass for more money.
You do see it. You have the ability to sit on StreamYard and share pictures of your posts from
I have the
November.
ability to
Simply
turn around
answer
and
this,
not
right?
look
I
at the
bust my
shadows
ass
on
off
the
at work
cave wall.
constantly. But
Wait, what
mechanics
about
isn't
no one
right.
working their ass off?
Say that again, Noah.
I can easily answer this. Like, I bust my ass off at work constantly. I do mechanics. You have to. You physically strain yourself constantly. But I enjoy that. So you're saying, yes, I'm not busting my ass off. But maybe the people who are actually busting their ass off at work might be actually enjoying doing that. So they're still getting the amount of enjoyment out which you are getting sitting on your ass.
Let me double down on what you said, Noah. Do you think the majority of people that work enjoy their jobs like you do?
Well, no, because they haven't actually sat down and thought, what would I like to do? I know it's not an easy thing to do because I didn't know what the fuck to do. But if they move around and they don't sit in a secure location like most people do, they'll eventually find something they'll like and they can sit there happily fine, no worries, and enjoy the thing they're doing.
I agree. But I would say the majority of the working class is not doing what they would love to do. I think, yes, society would be a much better place. Everybody would be happier and everybody could get along. That's why it's a pretty common phrase. Do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life.
I'm with you, Mr. Waters. I agree that the majority of the working class are literally obtaining revenue and keeping their jobs just to have the comforts of society. And that's what I'm putting down on the table. They're being distracted by the key is right here, but you need bread.
The lucky ones are the ones that get away by the skin of their teeth and don't end up in debt through the whole process of it.
But here's the thing. So you either integrate into the system or you make the system pay you. So either way it goes, it's the same principle here. I can manipulate the stock market. I have the intelligence to do what these physicists do, these astrologists do, these other scientists do. And that's how they literally kickstarted themselves. They played the stock market. They did white collar crimes and they got away with it. Why? Because it's all a statistic.
Well, the goalpost moves too much. That's why we were talking about earlier when women didn't have the same debt as men. Men had to acquire all of women's debt. The benefit to that was so much more. Like, could you imagine now it used to just be one income could support a household of, I don't know, 2 to 3 kids and a wife and a husband,
family and a roommate to just keep an apartment.
Because the field goal posts keep moving. It's your cost of living has gone up so much. You need 2 people working in a household in order to make ends meet. Like, it's not even, you're not thriving by any means. Like, that's the working class.
The field that I was talking about sooner or later, it's going to become quintillions and quadrillions. And what does that mean for the little people? $100,000 for a Big Mac. Thank you. Have a nice day.
No, I think those services, I think people are wising up enough where I think a lot of those services will go away. Because if you look at the way that things have changed, the stuff in the grocery store is hitting you with a crazier price too. And societally, like, probably for the last because I started out in like the food service industry and serving people food and being a waiter or busboy or whatever. And people have had a problem with tipping for probably the last 20 years. Like if you don't have enough money to go out to eat, just don't go out to eat. It's okay. Nothing wrong with it. But we still push this in society that we'd rather have people go out and buy the food and screw over the waiter or waitress. And this just keeps happening. Like there's people that don't have the money to go out to eat today and still don't know how to tip. I just choose not to work in that industry anymore. Like it's a bad idea. All for people that make probably less than minimum wage and survive on tips.
Yeah, exactly. That's in my opinion, if you want to keep all lawful fucking about it, no worker, whether they are a server or a stripper or the CEO, if the minimum wage is minimum wage, you cannot pay them 1 cent less.
And the minimum wage has to be a livable wage.
Well, that comes down to currency becoming so redundant it's literally worthless, which is the argument of $100,000 for a fucking Big Mac.
Well, it's like they even on a federal level, like I feel like I understand with property value and stuff like that, certain areas are higher cost to live in and everything else. But when the federal level isn't even near what it would take at the cheapest place in order to have a place of your own, it's insane. Like, and I think somebody did the math of like a teller at some bank. And I think I was talking to Mud Rabbit about this the last time I was talking to her. And we were talking about I don't know if it was Wells Fargo or what it was, but they were grilling this person and it was on Congress. And he was like, you know how much, a teller at your bank makes at minimum wage? And then they were like, yeah, they explained it all. And he's like, all right, well, we did some math too. So say you're a mom and just one kid living by yourselves, and say you go the cheap route and you just get a studio. So you're not getting, no one's getting their own bedroom or anything like that. It's a studio apartment and you're sharing it with your kid. And then after food and expenses,
a bar to a kitchen and a toilet and another door.
Yeah. And basically, after food and expenses and all of that, the person on minimum wage was still coming up short, like $600 to $800 a year.
A year? No, we're coming up fucking $1,000 a fucking month from minimum wage.
That's with taking advantage of all the government assets and everything else. And it's just like, yeah, it's impossible. Like people, and then the fucking guy from the bank had the audacity to be like,
"Well, the rat race of capitalism," and that's what I'm pointing at, sir.
Well, in the capitalist answer from the banker was, "Well, yeah, she has the opportunity of being in the same position I'm in." It's like, no, she doesn't.
Exactly. That's their fucking answer. She has the same opportunity to be the owner of that fucking bank instead of the teller. No, there's only a limited amount of people that can be the boss. Everybody else are grunts. Everything is a pyramid scam, and you can't tell me it's not. No matter what fucking business you're in a fucking pyramid scam, whether you're at the top of it or the bottom or in the fucking middle.
I think everything depends on their circumstances.
Who? What do you mean?
Like you're saying, like the banker said, you could be in my position, but it can be simply started from who their parents are. Like that banker might have lawyers as parents, or like doctors who are on good money, so they can have good education, go to good colleges, this, that, and the other, and get hired so they can be that banker. Whereas this person comes from places like, I don't know, council estates or whatever, they live for fucking 50 quid a month to get food. They're not going to be able to go to the big fancy colleges. They're going to go down to the local Asda, which is basically a Target or whatever, to work in there 7 days a week and get paid nothing.
Get an underwater basket water to breathing degree.
So for the college answer, that one's simple. I think college was proposed to people the wrong way. I think we've started to learn when it comes to a lot of careers, what you learn the most is a mixture between the education side as well as the hands-on experience. If you just spend your whole career getting degrees, you probably won't succeed very well in that job. If you look at the percentages of graduating from college and the number of people that actually attend college and how many people actually make it through and or find a job in that profession, it ends up being like less than 20% of people actually make it into the career that they want, that will then pay them to get out of debt from said college. So I don't know. There's a pretty good argument that college in general is a scam.
You ready for this one, Mr. Waters?
But when it comes to the original part, I think that's a very European idea that you can't change your stars. That's what I always think of a Knight's Tale when somebody says, "Oh, this person started out in a different spot." I do think in America you really can start out anywhere and end up anywhere. I don't think you're stuck in a societal standard of just because you were a peasant, you're going to be a peasant. Your parents were peasants, you're going to be a peasant your whole life. I don't think it works like that. I do think that, people can start out with advantages, but I don't think that will hold you back in the long run. If you do all the things right and make good decisions, you can end up way better than another person. But a bad decision would be working under somebody that you're actually not going to advance them. You got to know if there's room for advancement in said company. And that's why I really don't think that banker was blowing smoke out of his ass when he said that lady could be in the same position as him. I don't think it's ever possible just because he's never going to give up that position.
Exactly.
Or he's going to appoint it to somebody that he's related to. Like you were saying, he will try to bestow that on somebody else, but I've seen generational wealth get blown away in, one kid. One kid just blows the whole fucking company out of the water and ruins everything that their grandfather or whatever set up. That happens all the time. The people that are in the 1% change constantly, especially in the United States.
And that's what I was pointing at with the pyramid scheme. But here's my college story. I had an 11-day trial. What my professors hooked up with is they gave us all finals. And I aced my finals. Now, I didn't get 100, but I got over 95 of every fucking thing. I walked right into the financial officer's office and I said, okay, so I'm going to promise to give you $23,000 for a piece of paper in 18 months to prove I'm this smart whenever I'm already this smart. Thank you for your time.
Yeah. And then when you throw in some
You're not
of
going to sell me an underwater basket weaving degree for $50,000, bro. It's not going to happen.
That's what I was about to say is when you throw in other professions where, I know people use this one as a joke, lesbian dance theory. If you're taking some of these like random ass classes and trying to get a degree in them, and then there's no field for it when you actually graduate, I think that happens to people all the time. That's why a lot of the times, if you're going to go to college, go to something that is going to, produce a job at the end of it. That's why people say go into law enforcement. Computers is a good one nowadays. There's no reason not to go into those fields.
I was going into
Medical
game simulation and design, dude. That's what I was fucking going into.
Game simulation and design.
Yes, sir. I was going to make fucking video games, dude.
You would need a degree in order to get into that market, unless you get enough money or people to get involved in a startup.
The motherfucker.
What's that?
Unless I grandma's boy, the motherfucker.
Yeah. Good luck getting the investment on that one.
Investment, make the fucking game, shit it the fuck out. Put it on a CD.
If Nielsen's a hippie and he happens to be your boss and is willing to throw around money for you to do this.
The fuck are you talking about? I got a piece of shit computer. Just need a fucking upgrade. And dude, Queen is a fucking miracle fucking sin, dude. My computer that I was fucking looking at, bro, it jumped back up to over $600 fucking dollars. And I was having a bad week. And I wasn't actually mad because you know me, I don't get mad over stupid insect shit. But that kind of flipped my switch a little bit. And real quick, she sent me another fucking computer. Better specs. The screen don't fucking matter. The screen's a little bit smaller, but I got an HDMI cord anyway. But better fucking specs and $300 fucking dollars, bro.
I mean, I don't know. I think it takes a lot more than a nice computer to create a video game.
You have to know what you're going to do. You have to have the storyline, obviously. You got to have this whole
You
fucking.
need a lot
setup.
more. I think you need a lot more than that.
You need the storyline. You need to be able to create the graphics. You need to be.
I mean,
able
if
to
that's it, if you just want a storyline and you just want to put out a game, you can do that on old computer. You don't need a new computer to put out a word game or to put out. You know what I mean? The type of game you want to make is going to be your levels.
That's what I'm saying here. Something probably in a PlayStation 2 style, but long. Like make Star Ocean till the end of time, which is a multi-disc PlayStation 2 game, look short kind of game is what I'm putting down. Like it's literally a series, but it's that fucking big.
I've always wanted somebody to design a choose your own adventure game with a regular video game like they used to have in books. I always thought that'd be fun because I don't think they actually work out that way. Some of the open world games can kind of dabble with that a little bit, but
I know what you're saying, Mr. Waters. We are getting to a point, and it has been tested in theory, that once we can have submersible virtual reality video games instead of just a simple Oculus, we will be able to create games. And this is where it comes into technology and shit. And people don't like this. And it sounds a little Orwellian, but not really. They're able to read the sensory perception of your skin changing. And they can tell whether or not to what they need to insert into the video game. Like you're getting bored of it, so we'll scare you around this next corner. Or you're getting bored, so we're going to make sure the storyline picks up some. It'll be emotionally reactive and receptive to you is what these video games, this next scale will be. What's up, Mr. Biggs?
I don't know if you got to see this, but today Theo Von released a podcast that he did with Mark Zuckerberg, and they did it at the Meta headquarters. And Theo was playing with their newest AR or AI
Augmented reality.
RV. Oh yeah, it was. Well, this was the one that's not released to the public. Is the one that Theo got to play with, and he was talking about it might get released in 4 to 8 years. Yeah, he said 4 to 8 years. So give or take a little bit. But this one he was able to control with his mind and like muscle twitches and stuff like that. And he was like, Theo was like blown away by it. He was like, I was playing, he goes, I was playing Pong with some Asian guy. He goes, I think it was a setup. I don't know why there was an Asian guy there waiting to play Pong with me. He's like, I'm pretty sure they invented it.
We're on the verge of Ready Player One.
What up, Andre?
You know what Ready Player One is.
I love that TV show.
Ready Player One?
Yeah.
I want to see Ready Player 2, but I think that got scrapped.
I think it's just Sims playing Sims already. So to believe that our games are catching up is funny.
You just broke it, bro. You just told us all we're in a simulation within a hologram.
I've thought this forever.
I've always thought about the idea of like we are like living in a simulation, right? As a game, like with the sleep servers, whatever. We're gonna get into
Well,
that.
science has proven that we are two-dimensional objects projected onto a three-dimensional time space.
I have like this internal issue where I constantly wonder if you guys actually have dialogue outside of this. Like I don't. Online people
He
to
has
me are
perceiver
so.
syndrome. Oh my gosh, Mr. Waters has perceiver syndrome. Nothing exists unless he perceives it.
Well, it's that, and of course, I'm the main character of my story, and I don't know if these are just characters that I'm talking to that have nothing outside of it. They just spawn here. I don't know how this works. You
Mr.
guys
Waters,
could be.
Mr. Waters, I can agree fully with you because what I'm literally stating is part of science. Perceiver syndrome is more or less you know and understand that you are the only non NPC in your perception.
Yeah.
And
And
that's
no
not
other
an
character.
ego thing. That's not an
And
ego thing, and that's not meaning to fuck anybody off. That's just basically stating you get reality.
well, yeah, and no other character can be playable. And gosh, you wouldn't want to break the game where you could play other characters.
Who
I
the
don't think
fuck
I
says-
would.
Who the fuck says you can't bend reality to your will once you understand the rules?
Because I think people are still doing that today, where they're giving us the illusion that there's somebody else playing this character. It's not the same character anymore. It's been swapped, and then people are trying to pretend it's the same character, and it's just like, no, it's not the same.
Yeah, I can do the same thing, Mr. Waters. You know damn well I can punch you in the chest too, motherfucker. I'm not stuck in this headset. Don't play with me.
But here's an idea though. You know, people with like mental disorders of like having multiple people in their head.
Talking
I
about
would,
multiple personality disorders.
yeah. So keeping the idea of like a simulation, people are playing us as like actual like people outside of a game. I wonder if that's like a sibling thing. You know how you and your siblings go on an Xbox, use the same account, use the same character. Is that the same type of situation?
I often wonder with people with multiple personality disorders are hearing their inner monologue and they don't know how to respond to it.
But isn't there normally only one in a monologue instead of like 6 or 7?
Mine makes several different voices. I can tell you that. It doesn't
I
have.
don't know what
It doesn't.
the hell you're
It doesn't.
talking about,
It does.
bro. But if
It
you
does
ain't got at least
accents.
one voice in your head, you're a fucking robot, bro. You're insane.
No, they do
I only have one
accents.
voice in my
So
head.
why do you think like? That's why randomly when I speak, I'll just go into a different accent. It's because it just makes more sense to me to say things in certain ways. Like it doesn't. I don't know.
Well, I don't know about y'all, but I don't think a Cajun talking like this, talking about all quantum physics and stuff, is going to be very receptacle.
Exactly.
I
If I
mean,
could
like,
talk British
way-
for anything that
by the way,
was
that's my real
intellectual,
voice.
I would.
That's really how I sound, y'all. That's really how I sound, y'all. That's not a joke.
darling British people
Can't tell
aren't
the
smart.
difference.
You can go shove your quantum entanglement up your left nostril and watch it fly out your right.
Noah, did you know that in the United States, when you call somebody darling or honey, it's a passive aggressive attack?
Bless your heart, Mr. Waters. I was
Yeah,
showing her an
I'm
example.
not used to talking like that. I'm kind of just.
No, it's not a bad thing. Like I know you're not saying it to be mean. That's why I've never said anything about it. But if I was to talk to you and you were like, but say we were talking earlier about the
And I
difference
kept on
between
calling
men
you
and
Chap
women.
during the conversation.
And I said, "Honey, the men are talking," or something like that. Like it's a demeaning thing in an argument, but it's playful outside of an argument, so it could be perceived either way.
What
That's
are
why
you
I said I
talking
didn't take it the wrong way.
What are you
What?
talking about? I do that to your lifetime girlfriend all the time.
Thing is, you can say it is what I say, but if I go, oh honey, you know I'm taking the piss. You go, oh,
Oh yeah,
you
I can
know,
tell when you lay it on thicker, you're taking a piss, but there's a difference.
Whoa. I like imagine that. That was fucked up.
what?
No,
Huh?
I imagined that's what she was about to say. I was trying to finish her word because she was about to say taking a, and then she stopped, and I was like taking a piss. That's what she was gonna say. Was I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. I just.
All right.
God
And
is a
then
cunt.
Zero took it down the gutter. Yeah, he's a different guy.
God is a cunt. And I mean
Oh,
that
he's
completely
got the
free.
humour of a
I mean
toddler
that
mixed
with
with
a
a
completely
dirty old man.
British
That
accent.
makes a lot more sense.
I missed both of what you guys were saying, but I heard a cunt in there.
Ma'am, you first.
So Zero's got the humour of a toddler mixed with a whole lot of horniness put together.
A horny toddler. Okay, that's what I understood from that. And I
Okay.
said
Pretty much.
God is a cunt with all the British behind it.
More American toddler jokes. Noah, what do you call a cigarette?
Bug.
So if you were to have an e-cigarette, it's like an electronic cigarette, right?
Yeah.
How would
Don't get me started. I almost wanted to say it.
How would
heard
you
the joke
say-
that I was about to say?
how would you say like an electronic cigarette in British talk?
It's
That you
either
said.
two or a verb.
The pussy hurt too. What?
They're like a robot. How do you say it?
These like we call like e-cigarettes toots or vapes where I'm from.
The toot.
Like because different parts of England call
Oh.
it different
They're
things.
tooting. They're tooting, Mr. Waters. They're tooting.
That makes a lot more sense. Usually, people that are too into themselves, they've been breathing in their own toots too much. Very, very
No.
possible.
Okay.
Oh.
Now let's really go to the dark side.
Andre Little, wait. Andre Little's supposed to be up here. He's scheduled for an appointment. Andre Little, I know you're out there. You told me. When is this opportunity coming, sir?
So
The other one that's MIA is Brett. Brett's supposed to be here as well. Brett's been asking me for the last 4 days to go live. There's a
Who
few
was the
people.
one I didn't get along with?
Brett,
Not the British one, the American one that really annoyed me. Which one was it?
the British Brett, is that what you said?
No, not the British one. I don't really. I understand drunken Manchester lad, whatever. And I understand I don't like him, but there's an American lad who got on my nerves.
Which
you
one?
don't want me to say this.
You got to give me more.
Something
You got to
like
give me more than
motherfuckers.
that.
One of them one. That one.
Give me more than that. I didn't hear what you said.
This one.
He goes, "What's up, my motherfuckers?" every single time.
Oh, you're talking about are you talking about Jimmy?
Yes. Oh my god.
He's not from America. He's from the most he's up north, but he's like he's probably like within a few miles of you.
Darling,
he also lives in northern England.
I can say this now. I was on a train for 5 hours and going down south, and I was still in northern England.
No, I know you're at like the farthest point, but yeah, he's very much northern England. Yeah, Jimmy is not American at all. He likes America a lot. He likes America. He wants to move to Florida or California.
I will pay for his plane ticket as long as he leaves England. I'll be happy.
I would
just say totally terrible jokes.
I would pay him money.
I would ship him off to you.
I would pay him money to show up wherever you're at and try to get his scooter fixed instead of his car. It'd be a good time for me.
He kind of a mess with
berates
his
you
car,
from he berates you from behind the glass.
So are we finally ready to go down the dark tunnel of this very terrible joke?
All right, booty buddy. Let's hear about your dark tunnels.
So Noah, what's the worst part about eating bald pussy?
Oh God. The fact that you had to shave your cat to get here. I was going to say the fact that you had to shave your cat to get here.
I'm so lost. What did you say, Zero?
Okay, so the question is, what is the worst part about eating bald pussy?
Eating.
Bald pussy.
Was not expecting that one. The only thing I can think of at the moment, first thing that's coming into my head is, unless it's a few hours after you've just shaved it, it goes dead fucking spiky, and no one likes that at all.
She's being too literal. Oh no.
Oh no. The worst part about eating bald pussy, and remember, this is a joke, is
Oh,
taking
don't
off the
mention
diaper.
children. Do not mention children.
I'm glad you talked over the punchline then.
It's children, isn't it?
I told you we was down a dark tunnel.
I thought you were going to say something like Joe Rogan doesn't taste good, or
Taking off the diaper.
yeah, we heard you the first time when she talked over it. You didn't have to repeat it.
You didn't. You did with your ear rapers on.
When's the punchline? I was waiting for the funny part.
Oh, now you're just sounding like Eve with Adam in the Garden of Eden.
That's like the, I know it's probably really, really overused. That's like the joke of what's worse than going down on your grandma. It's like saying
What'd
hitting
you
the
say?
coffin lid when you come back up. It's just one of them jokes that people are just numb to now.
Okay, so what are chocolate clots?
Huh?
What are chocolate clots?
Chocolate clocks.
Clots, like CLOAT. Chocolate clot.
I have no idea.
Okay, that's Hershey's Kisses. You take your Hershey Kiss and you push it in your girl while she's on her period and you suck her back out. Chocolate clot.
Where are we at right now?
We're
are
at
we at
We
right
Boudreaux.
went from having a
We're
very
at Boudreaux and
intellectual
Thibodeau sitting
conversation
down in the
to
restaurant, and Boudreaux
I
going
know.
to the man that's
You're
choking on a
you're
pussy
making you're gonna
push
make me
out a
have to
pants
change.
and push
You're gonna have to
butt.
make me change the settings of my actual video because of these conversations.
Hey man, this is always supposed to be for 18 and over and not recommended for children.
No, it's set for not for kids. Because if you
Yeah.
put it at 18 and over, nobody sees it. Because usually people don't come on here saying deep fucking sex jokes.
Setting it not for kids just allows your video to have comments. Setting it at 18 and over ensures that they know that this is automatically
It won't get
explicit
shared.
content.
They don't share it. They don't share it. It does not get shared if you put 18 and over. Because YouTube agrees to the fact that they understand that people are getting on their service that are probably underage and lying about it. So they no longer push your content when you put it as 18 and over.
You sound like somebody who liked that monetized contract whenever it was waved in your face.
I can get monetized right. I could turn it on right now if I wanted to.
And that's literally what I said. And whenever I originally saw it, I literally opted out.
Oh no. The first time I tried it. And then after
No, I opted out of being monetized. Like they cannot hit me because I have a contract that literally states in my YouTube that I am not allowed to be monetized by user discretion.
yeah, but they still have it in your contract that they can close your account for any reason.
Oh, that's correct. Goes through the entire TOS on my other channel. It goes through the entire TOS of YouTube and shows you how you win court cases, and YouTube can't do anything to you.
They can still take you off their platform regardless if you win the court case. Yeah, they have 100% the ability to take down your content for any reason that they deem necessary.
I mean,
Yeah,
even if it's overturned in the future and they don't
like
actually have to correct the
stating,
mistakes.
like I'm stating, sir, I explained all that in the video. Whenever you are the defendant, you are bent over and a dildo is shoved in your anal cavity. Whenever you become the plaintiff, that flips the board.
Depends on if you know the judge.
Law is law.
no, it depends what favors you do the judge.
Or if you Judge Dredd. I am the law.
That's why I just said law is law.
Yeah, no, judges rule different ways. That's why people use different court cases in order to make their case.
And
So
we're told what we can't do, and people over there are told what they can do. So there's kind of a discernment there. Yeah, that's the right word, I think.
yeah, I got into an argument with somebody the other day. They were trying to tell me how racist the United States was, and I told them to prove to prove it to me. I said, I think America is the most diverse country in the whole world, and I would say probably the least racist country in the whole world, especially by population. And I said, point to any other population that has a diverse country like our own and is less racist than us.
And
You
allows
have a
anyone
point.
to walk through at the front door.
I mean, we don't do that very much anymore.
The
I
front
mean,
door.
like,
The front door, not the back door, not a fucking window, not the roof, not the basement, the front door.
We don't let anybody walk through the front door.
I don't
You're
have a
telling me-
back door.
Go ahead.
You don't have what?
Even my head is just fried and I'm like too slow or what?
I was saying, I think that our country, the United States, is the most diverse country in the whole world, and we have less racism by population than any other country on this planet.
And I was counter arguing by stating I was not counter arguing. I mean, I was adding to the statement of our front door is open and you can't deny that we can still do legal citizenship. Not this shit where we're just coming across the border and popping squats somewhere.
Yeah, as long as you haven't, done
That's what I
anything
mean
that
by-
makes you
That's what I
not
mean by
able to.
knocking on the front door.
Yeah, you can knock. Anybody can knock. Yeah, anybody can knock. That's fair.
Well, it seems like the UK literally has no doors whatsoever. It is against that has blown away in the wind.
Oh, I know. They're having a lot of issues with immigration because they changed a lot of their policies that they used to have, and I won't be too specific, but a lot of British people that I've talked to have told me the specific people or immigrants that have come into their country that are treating it differently than it was treated before, and I can relate to it. I understand what people are talking about, but in the U.S., it's usually something that we accommodate or we try to work with, or we prosecute people for doing, things that are too out of the ordinary. In the UK, I don't know how much of the UK it was that they did it in, but they decided to stop classifying people by race in some areas, so you couldn't actually figure out who was committing the crime. But I think they stopped doing it by race and by sex.
Yeah, in
So-
my area, we have this hotel called the Hilltop. The Hilltop was put as immigration and stuff. People that came over on boats, whatever, they got put in their hotel, nice, lovely. They get pools, they get gyms, whatever.
Lovely jubbly.
Lovely jubbly, while all of us in fucking council houses are literally falling to the floor because they haven't been built properly. And that's a different argument. But they used to go, there's a lot of this. I'm not generalizing people, but I have my family Turkish anyways, but a lot of them are Turkish and Portuguese. It's not Pakistanis and it's not Bangladeshis. They're fine. They've had no problems. It's the Turkish type of such side of the world. They all seem to have different rules, different religions, different ideologies of what they can do. and they come into England with them same ideologies and think it's okay.
Just say not all terrorists are Muslims, but definitely not all Muslims are terrorists, but definitely all terrorists are Muslims. Just say it plainly.
I never said religion is like. I never said it's like Muslims. I said
The
like
way of
their
life, the
ideas,
culture,
their
the culture.
ideologies, what they
Say
believe.
that. Say that. Say that
Say it
statement
properly.
again.
Say
that
it
statement
properly.
again.
Say it
First.
properly. Not all Muslims are terrorists, but all terrorists are Muslims.
Yeah, I don't think all terrorists are Muslims.
No, yeah,
Well,
that's within the
that's what it seems perceived as, because it's their culture, their way of life, and it's completely.
No, I think we have.
ours. It goes back to my argument about if you're
I think
not.
that's an older. I think that's an older saying, though. Like we were talking about. I think there's a lot of.
You, Mr. Waters.
I was saying I think that's a lot of like an older stigma that was meant to get us into the Middle East, which and I think this is all leading up to a war with Iran, specifically with the United States and Iran. That's what you see what's going on with Israel, and there's there's a lot of interesting stuff going on, and I think that, but yeah, I think there's terrorists in the United States too, white ones. I think there's the fucking dumbass white people that try to go out and join ISIS. Like, what the fuck? How did you think that was gonna go?
What my point is, it goes back to the point that if you're not Christian, fuck you. And I lived through this.
But even that's an old idea. Even Christians are prosecuted today. I think religion has been vilified since the late 90s. And I think...
Not societally. Honestly.
Oh, yeah.
This is the
Even
reason
more,
why I feel as though
even more societally.
Anything, because I rejected worshiping what they considered the creator. This is why I was diagnosed as a crazy nut job.
You believe in gay marriage?
I don't give a fuck what you do in the privacy of your house.
Do you think gay marriage does something to the ideology established by the church?
Do you think that the opinions of others are valid for myself? Is literally how I put it forward. Like, what they're doing, how does that affect me? It doesn't, is my simple answer.
I don't. Yeah, that wasn't even part of the question. I don't care what anybody does. My thing is, as long as they're not harming others. My thing is, that's the degradation. Is that the right word? Of Christianity over time and religion over time is something that they considered valued, that we accepted as customs in most society, has been kind of thrown to the wayside. And I think it's almost a devil's advocate for both sides, because it's like, I don't really know that because I don't really think that gay people realize that. I don't think it's really a slap in the face to religion like they think it is. I think if anything, like in my ideology, it's you're conforming to a religious ideology and you just want to fit in, and that's why you're doing it. And instead of just doing, like, I don't know, a joint partnership, like, why would you want to be joint under marriage if
I'll put it
the
this
people
way.
that established marriage are against what you are?
I know this may or may not be true, but then again, I have no valid evidence for or against. While not on camera, you could be leading your wife around on a leash. Okay, you can make her eat off the floor, like how her plate is on the floor and she can't use silverware. We don't know this. I'm just making an example. We don't know
on
what
Sundays.
in your private life. We don't know what happens. We don't know what happens in your private life. Does it directly affect me the way that you choose to live your life? No, and that's where we have a difference. You have, as long as it doesn't harm anybody else, I have the thing, as long as it doesn't directly affect me, I don't care if you're shooting a gun.
Yeah, no, I'm against people harming other people, and me giving them the ability to by not caring, because I do think laws are good. I do think we should have. I don't believe in anarchy. I don't believe it's every man for himself. I do think certain societal standards should be kept. Like I do think we need police, fire, and government, but I think they should have a limited role. Their job isn't to protect you from yourself. I hate that the government does that. I don't think they should tell you what you shouldn't be allowed to do in your own home. I don't think they should be able to actually stop you from hurting yourself either. I think if you choose to do something to yourself, I think by all means get help. Let me say this because we're on YouTube. By all means, get help if you need help.
Of the M word, so therefore it is illegal.
Yes, but your family's not going to get fined for what happened. Your loved ones aren't going to. But if you leave debt behind, no. If you leave debt behind or something like that, then your family actually has that burden, depending on how it's set up. But like certain laws, your family actually has to absorb if it's done wrong. But that's not one of them that they have to actually have to absorb. I am the vision. I am the future. What up, Pesci? Good to see you, man. Figured Pesci was live tonight.
This is the almighty Joe Pesci that everybody tells me about and I've never seen. Holy shit.
You've never met Sir Joseph Pesci?
No, I've heard stories about this man.
What stories have you heard about Sir Joseph Pesci?
This is the guy that George Carlin prayed to, and it's always a 50-50 whether or not the guy next door gets knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, of course you can, man. Just click on the link. You're always welcome. But, all right, so start thinking about the actor Joseph Pesci when you hear this voice. Because, I don't know, we got a sticky bandit on his way. Home Alone himself. Or not Home Alone himself, but Joe Pesci in Home Alone. One of the sticky bandits.
Okay, that's the short one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's Joe Pesci. Which is kind of ironic. He's a short one too. I think Joseph Pesci is short. Both of them.
Short people are just environmentally friendly.
They're environmentally friendly?
Yep.
I appreciate that, Noah. Makes me feel better inside.
They're fun size.
We use less space.
They're fun
we use less
size.
clothes. We don't need as much. We don't need much room. We can just be in our little hobbit holes and we'll be fine.
Come on, you can't tell me if a midget wasn't backing it up on you, Mr. Waters. You'd look at your wife and be like, honey, can I?
I didn't say I wasn't attracted to small people. I think when somebody says that they're environmentally friendly, I think that's an interesting way of, I don't know, leading into the conversation of, oh yeah, short king.
Wow, I saw that pun if nobody else did.
Environmentally friendly?
Bleeding into the conversation.
Oh.
Now you know. Now you know the landmine.
But yeah, I don't know if you can see it, Pesci. It's pinned at the top of the chat. There might be one in my description, but that one probably leads nowhere.
He's got to cough 15 times and drink a quart of honey, and then he can come up here and actually get the voice for 15 minutes.
No, that voice is always there. This isn't an impression. This is just his voice.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
He's not going to do anything different. He's just going to talk to you, and it's just going to sound like
this
that.
Isn't like Peter Griffin or Joe Swanson. This is like legitimately the man talks like this. Holy shit.
Yeah, these aren't impressions. He's got that nickname because somebody else told him he sounds like that.
You need a what, Noah?
I only watched Home Alone the other day.
You've seen Reservoir Dogs? Isn't he in Reservoir Dogs? I don't remember.
We're talking about My Cousin Vinny, or am I just stupid?
Yeah, My Cousin Vinny.
All right.
I was trying to think of other movies too, Noah, that you've seen with that actor. When you said you've only seen Home Alone.
Matilda.
He's not. No. He's not Danny DeVito.
No, that's Danny DeVito.